We're good. Right?
Hey, everybody! Come on, Brad.
Did that make you nervous, everybody?
Spit it out, Brad.
Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards. Jamie, what's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, man. It's been a while.
I took a week off. We've traveled around the country twice.
I was looking for our podcast last week to drive around and work. One there.
Yeah, well, I think I was about burnt out on driving around last week.
I wonder why.
It couldn't be the fact that we drove all over America.
Was it 6,000 miles in 5 days?
I think it came out to 6,100 miles in 6 days, right?
Let's see. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 6 days.
So roughly 1,000 miles a day.
We left at 10 a.m. in New York City and returned on Tuesday at 10 p.m.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That was insane, man. It literally took me days to recuperate.
I think going out there
sleeping
without sleeping for 2 days was easier than coming back.
Yeah, coming home was longer and it was less eventful. So when I was putting together our show notes this week, I left out the gift section because we do have a lot of stories to tell y'all from our trip. So I was writing down every little story I could think about. I was making notes, and we had a lot of crazy things happen on the way out, but on the way home we didn't. So I was like, why is that? But we stopped around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. every night, took a 4-hour nap in a hotel,
and drove
again. So I think it's that 4-hour period we were sleeping. That's when the craziest crap happens. That's when you almost get kidnapped. That's when people try to sell you half a bottle of Tide. It's when you get the car airborne. All that happens.
I wonder why he didn't sell Tide pods and just charge per pod.
See, I was thinking about that too. I think probably because they leak in his pocket.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they get warm in his pocket and they leak everywhere.
And the skin pops?
How bad you think we was stinking for a guy to offer us some Tide?
Yeah, that was, 36 hours in?
Yeah, that was
rough.
So, before we jump into Cannonball Run, did you watch Super Bowl last night?
I did.
The Chiefs won it. If you didn't watch it, I'm sorry. I just ruined it for you, but the Chiefs did win.
Do you think anyone recorded it to watch later?
I doubt it.
I hope not.
If you did, go ahead and fast forward to the end because the refs are going to piss you off. They threw a flag with about a minute and a half to go for holding. I guess you could say he was holding, but he wasn't holding enough. His jersey never moved. I
think he just put a flat hand on his back.
That's what it looked like. I think a referee had some money on the game. If you think about it, the last time we talked about the NFL, we were talking about it being rigged. Where that one,
maybe Roger Goodell said Mahomes has got to win.
Well, I think that's just it. I think they were going to win anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think the NFL or Jalen Hurts and those guys were going to pull off a comeback with 1 minute to go. But cutting it down to 8 seconds to go like they did because of that call basically guaranteed Kansas City a win. And it sucked. It was a great game. I enjoyed watching the game. It was back and forth. It was neck and neck. It was a close game the whole time. To ruin it on a crappy call and then have them take a knee basically at the 1 yard line just to kick a field goal and win. Now, I don't fault Kansas City for what they did. I really don't have a dog in this fight. I could have cared less who won.
That's why I found it a little boring.
Because you didn't care?
Yeah, I really didn't care.
I was pulling for the Eagles. I mean, I had to pick a team to pull for, but I really didn't care. But with Jalen Hurts, he's a former Alabama player. Georgia has beat him in a national championship. But he is an SEC player, so I figured I'd pull for the SEC player other than Mahoney's.
See, I pulled for Mahoney's because the Falcons are NFC, and I won't pull for another NFC team.
See, to me,
so technically I won. Yay.
Mahoney's looked cracked out after that. After he sprained his ankle. Have you ever, watched his facial expressions?
Well, he had already sprained it 2 games before.
Well, after he got hurt,
re-injured.
I'm thinking they shot him up with some pain meds. at halftime.
I think they did heroin.
It could have. He had that like cocaine jaw going on, that that look going on. I know it's a podcast. You can't see the
like Frankenstein trying to get an electric charge.
You look like Deborah at the reservation.
Oh, Deborah.
So it's just crazy. Like DraftKings, it's fun. They threw that call. I went back and watched the replay, and you see it online too. You watch the replay, and you can see the DraftKings logo in the background advertising. Like sports betting, it's great. Whatever. If you like to bet, that's your thing.
Maybe I should have bet, and I would have been a little more excited.
The problem I have with it is that referee a few weeks ago, he came out and said, "I didn't know my son had so much money wagered on that game." Like, you made a call that made your son a lot of money. So what's to say that didn't happen again? And it's too easy. Back in the day when you gambled on sports, you had to call your bookie who worked for the mafia to make your bet.
Hey, Guido.
That was it.
Let me put a dime down on the Eagles, Guido.
Or it was between you and your buddies. I mean, it wasn't big dollar. Well, I mean, I guess sports betting
at least when
could be big dollars.
Yeah, but sometimes when you bet with your buddies, they would welch on the bet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'll get back to you later. But when you bet with the mafia, they'll break your leg.
Exactly.
So at least you get paid.
So either way, you get paid.
Yeah.
But now it's just everybody's doing it now. So it makes it too easy. It's too easy for those referees to place a bet on the game through one of their cousins, family members, or kids. And
I guarantee you a family member's betting on it, man.
Why wouldn't they? I would. Like, it's
you gonna bet on NASCAR?
Well, how do you can't rig now? I guess they throw a caution.
Phantom caution.
End under caution.
That water bottle's sitting out there in the infield. Throw a caution. Throw flag.
So Chris Stapleton, I personally am a country music fan. Jamie's not so much. But Chris Stapleton nailed the national anthem. I thought it was a phenomenal job. It's kind of emotional seeing the players tear up and the coaches tear up.
I thought all three of the singers did a great job.
Well, I thought Chris Stapleton singing our national anthem killed it, man. He just phenomenal job. So, what about the halftime show? What'd you think about that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
I'm not a fan, but Jay-Z.
I like her music.
Jay-Z's taken over the halftime show.
Seemed like it took too long, but anyway.
So it was 13 minutes long, is what they said. Felt like it was an hour. It felt too long. And then I was reading on Twitter, a lot of people complaining, they were saying, like, when are we going to have a halftime show that's appropriate for kids?
She did grab her crotch like old Michael Jackson did back in the day.
Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it. The marshmallows running around, they threw me off.
Well, I was reading about balloons flying all over the place and looked up, and I was like, oh, I thought they were sugar cubes. Sugar marshmallows?
Cubes? Well, they look like
ping pong balls.
Painter outfits. Looks like they were there to do some painting.
And then they had skiing goggles or whatever. I don't know.
And
safety goggles.
Like, cut off shirts on. Well, just the belly was cut out.
And then they were riding whitewater rafts up in the sky.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Or were they blow up mattresses? I don't know.
Was it a China spy balloon?
Could it
Maybe they were dressed up as deflated Chinese spy balloons.
Could be.
So maybe it was an American thing. Like, look at us. We've deflated your balloons, China. One of those type of deals.
I don't know. I like her music, but it seemed a little long-winded.
I'll be honest, it was way better than that devil dance we saw at the Grammys.
Well, I didn't see it, but I heard about it as we were driving back home.
We were legit in L.A. when the Grammys
I thought you were going to be kidnapped on the Cannonball Run by a devil cult.
A devil cult?
Out in the middle of New Mexico.
I don't think they were part of the devil cult.
You don't?
No.
Did you see Indiana Jones and Temple Doom?
No.
Watch it. That's what you almost got involved with.
The devil cult?
Oh, they were going to cut your heart out.
No.
Eat it while I was still beaten.
So the big talk right now going around is about the Chinese spy balloons, the weather balloons, whatever you want to call them, UFOs or Harry Potter. I mean, it's something flying around. What do you think it is?
Actually, I don't think it's Harry Potter. I'm thinking
It said it was the shape of a small car. It could be Harry and Ron.
I think it's Batman with a new vehicle for flying.
Well, didn't he already have a balloon one time?
Did he have a bat balloon?
Remember the hook? It got him in the... They flew the hook up thing and it picked him up.
Was that a balloon?
Yeah, at the end when he got rescued off the building, the Chinese thing. Was that China or was that Japan?
Let's just call it China.
Yeah, sounds good enough.
China balloons.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The skyhook is what it was called. They let the balloon go up and the airplane flew by and caught the rope the balloon was tied to and jerked up Batman.
I don't know. I've seen them all, but I don't remember that.
It's when they picked up the Asian dude had left the country with all the criminals' money and Batman went to bring him back.
I don't remember.
I think it was the Dark Knight. Something.
Was that like 20 years ago?
Dude, was it?
I don't know.
It might have been.
There's so many superhero movies now.
It was the last good one.
Oh, well, who knows when that was? They've had about 30 years of bad ones.
That's a fact. Now they got did you see the new advertisement for the new movie with Batman? It's got the old school Batman in there. Michael Keaton,
yeah. That was my favorite Batman.
Yeah, but he's like 80.
90.
He's probably the same age as our president.
He's a boomer, dude. Boomers won't get out of the way for us.
Well, what's he going to do? Batman's going to be in a wheelchair?
I mean, I was a little kid when he was like, we're talking like 4 or 5 watching bad movies he was on. Like he was Mr. Mom.
Yeah, so why is he back? What's he done since?
Because boomers don't quit. Look, Indiana Jones, he's like 97 years old.
He needs to quit.
That dude was born in World War I. He fought in it.
Harrison?
I'm just going to have to roll with it because I've seen all of them. Just like Fast and Furious 10. Superhero car movies.
I gave up on that too. Fast and the Furious.
I'm just going to wait. I'm going to write them out until they're a TV show.
Monthly subscription show.
Or weekly on
Netflix. It'll be on Netflix. All right, so we don't have any gifts really this week. We do have I did find these 36-inch multicolor balloons made in China for $14.99.
Do you think that's what they're launching now?
If they're launching them, why can't we? So you can buy a pack of 50 36-inch balloons for $15 off Amazon. Have them shipped to your house, but you got to get helium, and you just let them go. Then you sit out there with your phone making shorts when they send out the Raptors to blow them up.
I like F-15s. You think they'll send an F-15 Eagle?
If you write it on there, on the balloon.
Oh, please send an F-15 because they repair them at Warner Robins Air Force Base.
It's not far from it. So they'll think, why don't you just sit in your car and let go of balloons right outside the Air Force
Or they also
base.
repair Cobra gunships. That would be badass.
That would be really cool.
Maybe they could send both. Could I put a request on the balloon?
We send 2 balloons up.
What if I drew a picture of chopsticks? Then they would know it's a China balloon.
You do a dragon.
Yeah.
I think these balloons here actually they have some red ones that have a gold Chinese dragon on it. We could use those too. I just think red would be hard to see.
Or should I make it hard for them to figure out? I just put Kung Fu on the side.
I think you should do that.
Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Make them think about it.
Well, then they think you want to fight. That's like fighting words.
Yeah, and then they'll send up the Cobra gunship and the F-15.
Use the middle finger emoji. That's it.
That's universal.
Yeah. That's every language. Chinese.
Yeah.
American. Even the Spanish will know what you mean. What if the balloon accidentally floats south? You notice the aliens are only coming from up north.
No, but at Myrtle Beach was where they blew up the other one.
So if we're shooting UFOs out of the sky and we're calling them aliens,
do you think
is that not insensitive to the aliens? Shouldn't we be calling them undocumented
space people?
Yeah. Why aren't we calling them illegal aliens?
Beings from another planet.
Can they vote?
Yes.
Do they? They probably vote anyway.
And
what if they were just here to pick Kamala up? I saw her at the State of the Union. She never took a breath at all.
I think she was at the Clash when we were there.
If you watch her at the State of the Union, you can see her fish gills in her neck. She never breathes, ever. Her face moves 0. So I'm thinking she's either A, one of those lizard people you hear them talk about.
I think so. Like on Star Trek, the old one back in the day.
Or she could be an alien from outer space. But she's a documented alien. So does that even make her an alien? She's an American from outer space.
No, she had to be born here. She couldn't be president.
You think? You don't think they could falsify that?
I don't know. Are you going further back? Or are you making accusations for my favorite party with president?
So me and Jamie decided on the Cannonball Run, we're going to start our own party. The Race Car Spelled Backwards Political Party.
Yes.
I think it would work, too.
Well, we're going to start a political action committee, which is a PAC. You see all these little politicians start their own little PACs. But what we're going to do is when you are elected to a political position like Congress or the Senate, we are going to pay for you to go cross country.
You have to go across country.
Because as we were saying, as we were looking at this country, as we drove across it, our politicians would be a lot smarter and more cooperative if they realize that the country they're protecting is the one they just saw driving across it. Because our country is an awesome country. There's no way around it.
It's absolutely beautiful. If you've never driven across the country, you need to. Because, I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it in 44 hours.
In 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend stopping every night for more than 4 hours, trying to get a good 7 hours sleep every night. Enjoy the area. Like, out of all the states we went to, Arizona was by far my favorite. And
I liked Arizona and New Mexico coming back east to Albuquerque. Once you went over the mountains, it was the same as Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once
Texas
you got past,
sucked.
Once you get out of the Rockies there, because Albuquerque is the foothills of the Rockies. And then you basically go from the Sierra Nevada mountains, which covers, California and Arizona. You come out of that. But you don't really even come out of it. You just go straight into the foothills.
You got those
of the
red mesas or whatever you want to call them in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. That's in between the Sierra and the
But we had
Rockies.
good interaction. And this is even for the racist out there. We might have a racist that listens to us. But we had positive interaction with almost every race you can imagine.
I didn't have any issues with anybody the whole trip.
No, but, they were Americans. Well, there were some issues, but, I don't know if it wasn't race related, but what we had were positive interactions with, name the race.
With Americans.
Americans. Let's not say race. Yeah.
Just
let's
say
avoid that. With Americans.
It was 100% positive.
We had negative experiences too, but it wasn't race related.
I think... But back to our point of politicians traveling the country before they become a politician, you need to know what you're screwing up before you screw it up.
Yeah, because you would protect it if you drive cross country.
Like, to see the reds and the oranges of Arizona literally end at the Welcome Center for New Mexico is insane. You could stand at the Welcome Center and look back into Arizona and see the reds and the oranges, and then look over into New Mexico and it's like a khaki brown. It is still beautiful. I mean,
the prairie grass in Texas was beautiful, but after 6 hours of staring at it, you're like, oh my God, there's nothing but grass out here. And the constant 30-mile-an-hour wind.
Texas sucked. That was like the one state I wasn't impressed with. Only thing they had, and we saw Cadillac Ranch.
We saw the Leaning Tower of Water.
The Texas Leaning Tower, which is like a 30-foot tower it's just stupid. So,
hey, the do not crash into us lights on the wind turbines was at least entertaining at night.
Yeah, it was cool at night. Blinking on and off, on and off. We're like aliens. So if you don't know, we did complete the Cannonball Run on February 5th with a time of 44 hours and 3 minutes with an average speed of 68 miles an hour in the Prius, a.k.a. the Snell, a.k.a. Deborah. We named the Prius after my almost kidnapper. So,
you sure she didn't want to just adopt you and bring you home as a pet?
Well, I mean, kidnap.
You can hang with her chihuahuas?
I don't think she was I wasn't going to go willingly, so I don't think adoption was in the cards there.
I think she was going to take care of you, but not let you out of the house.
I think she was going to kill me.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe not. She wasn't going to, like you said, she wasn't going to let me go when she got me.
Nah, you were stuck in that double wide.
So we drove to New York City from Atlanta because we're geniuses.
Well, you have to go there to
get to LA.
To do the official start point.
So we stayed the night in New York City, and on Friday at 10:15 a.m. at the Red Ball Garage, we officially started the Cannonball Run. We finished it 44 hours and 3 minutes later on Sunday morning at 3:18 a.m. at the Portofino Hotel Marina. We're like one of 180 people who have done this now.
There's some psychos that have done it like 13 times.
There's no way.
Some people have done there and back.
Now, if I lived in New York City,
it'd be easier.
It would be one thing. But we added 1,000 miles to the trip to go from Atlanta to New York City because it's only 2,979 miles from the Red Ball Garage to the Portofino. So, I mean, roughly that's 3,000 miles. We added the rest of that with the trip home and driving. It's 2,000 miles home. And then we added another 1,000 just driving to New York City.
6,100 miles.
It was insane. But we did
Snail made it.
We did it. The Snail had no issues. And, now we can always say we're Cannonball Run champions. That's something nobody can ever take from us.
Actually, they can't take it from us because
they can't even give it to us.
No official, unofficial.
We're officially, unofficially the official, unofficial Cannonball Run champions.
But since we didn't break any laws, it wasn't an illegal race because the speed limit, we averaged 68 miles an hour. The speed limit almost everywhere but parts of New Jersey was 55 miles an hour.
So the only reason
70 was the norm for
75.
but when we got to the west.
Yeah, when you hit Missouri.
Oklahoma, Missouri.
Yeah, when you hit the I-44, it goes to 75, and then it just stays there all the way to
There ain't nothing there.
L.A.
Nothing.
Air.
Well, L.A.
Tumbleweeds.
L.A. 75 mile an hour is just a suggestion because they're doing 120. So.
It's insane. But they're good drivers.
We didn't see any wrecks.
That's crazy. We didn't see any wrecks. I still think the worst drivers of any state we traveled through are Atlanta.
Yep.
Georgia still, out of every state we visited, has the worst drivers.
I mean, New York City, I would cringe when cars were doing what they were doing, but they made it.
So that was my first trip to New York City. I'd never been before. If you've never been, you can go and check it out. It was cool.
Watch out for the door dashers, man.
Yeah, that was insane. So when we pulled in that night, it's like bumper to bumper traffic, and there's these guys on bicycles just going in and out.
Electric bikes.
And they don't care if you're there or not. Like,
they don't care if it's red light, green light, yellow light. It just doesn't matter.
Did you notice nobody seemed to care about that? Like, the walking sign on the crosswalk was just a suggestion. People just take off. If you would have done that in L.A., you'd have got hit by a train.
Almost did. I saw it coming.
Well, I mean, you said, hey, let's just go like New York. And we went and almost got hit by a train. It was cold.
Boy, that nighttime California cold.
Yeah,
it was brutal. Like 52, but it felt like it was 28.
That probably the nicest person we met on our whole trip was our waitress in New York that served breakfast, the pancakes, my pancakes.
Oh yeah, the lady from the Bronx. You think she's friends with Jenny on the Block?
She said. Like, we got to talking to her, and she's like, oh, my husband do that same trip with my kids.
Yeah, no. I don't think she knew what we were talking about.
And she's like, I grew up in the country with animals. I'm like, what? There's a country in the Bronx?
We told her we were from Georgia.
You think she thought the state or the country?
I mean, did you notice the owners were Russian?
Yeah.
She might have thought.
The country.
Yeah. Wondered what happened to our... Well, how did we get so slow in our pronunciation?
You think it was my accent?
Yeah.
He ain't from around here. He's definitely not from the Bronx. So, trip started off pretty smooth, I guess. First hiccup we have is in South Carolina, so we stopped to top off and get gas.
We gave a homeless man $2 for good luck. Remember? Before we went under the tunnel in New York, Manhattan. Remember I reached out and handed him $2 worth of quarters?
No.
You don't remember the very start of the Cannonball Run?
I thought that was the night before. No, okay, yeah, I remember.
That was when we were entering.
Went in the Holland Tunnel.
We took the Lincoln Tunnel back. We took the Holland Tunnel in.
Yeah, so it was the Lincoln Tunnel into Jersey is where the homeless guy was?
Yeah, right.
I do remember you. And we almost ran out of quarters because of that for the toll booths in Oklahoma. Thank God we didn't have toll booths coming home. So in South Carolina, we're topping off with gas, and Jamie's got our GPS tracker mounted on the trailer hitch of the Prius.
Because you have to submit it to the official timekeeper.
So Jamie's sitting there pumping gas. I run inside to get something, probably coffee, and I come back out, and Jamie's laughing. This guy saw the tracker and went up to Jamie. He's like, hey, man, hey, psst, psst. hey,
He was whispering too.
Somebody's tracking you, man. I think somebody's tracking you. I think they might be listening.
And then he's like, shh.
He legit thought somebody was listening to us and tracking us with his GPS device. You think he's probably had that before?
Yeah, I think that was a situation where he's had an Apple AirTag slapped on his car.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, I think your wife's following you. That happened to me.
We gave her access, so it wasn't a lie. She was following us on the
She could keep tracker. Did she make you put it back on the car when you left today?
Well, you know, the thing stopped working for like 1,000 miles. I'm returning it.
You should. That's because it was so cold. Nothing could survive that.
Well, you know, I added up the budget. We were, even with our great fans that supported us, we were way over budget.
That's because our gas mileage sucked.
Well, we didn't count on 7,000 miles in the air at negative 11 degrees.
So we decided to go a different route. Up until Thursday, we were basically backtracking the way we went to New York City and then cutting across Tennessee on the I-40.
And let's remember there's just one rule.
Yeah, you just have to
start at the Red Ball garage and you end at the Portofino Marina.
That's the only rule.
Doesn't matter how you get there.
So you can take any route you want. So we were going to go through, basically cut across Tennessee and keep going out west.
Hit 40 in Knoxville.
But we got to looking at the GPS on the ride up and realized
weather maps.
We could save 2 hours by cutting across Pennsylvania into Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and then dumping off into
we could have saved 2 hours if your bladder was a little bigger too.
I'm not the one that had to pee on the side of the road. It was you there.
I peed on the side of the road.
My bladder stretched out as the trip went on. I drank less too. My bladder problems were more on the way to New York City.
I gotta pee.
I gotta pee, man.
Pull over, I gotta pee.
Hey, it worked out. That's what screwed our average speed of 68. I would like to know what our average driving speed was, because that's just what it took us to get there based on the time and the distance. Came up to 68 miles an hour.
I set GPS when I was driving in the middle of nowhere at 81.
Cruise control?
Yeah.
Not GPS.
GPS. I'm still confused from the trip.
All right, Joe. Calm down. So, Jill.
Jill, how fast are we going, Jill?
So, I mean, I said it. If the speed limit was 75, I did 75. I was trying to get our gas mileage back.
Well, I was like, F the gas mileage.
Yeah. Well, that was you. I was trying to save the gas mileage. So, anyway, we decided to go the northern route because of the snow. The snow at the time when we left was hitting Tennessee and all that. So, we went the northern route. Still hit the snow. No big deal. We survived. Went through New Jersey. There's pretty much a cop everywhere, every mile in New Jersey. That was kind of weird.
Pigsville. It was Pigsville.
Pigsville, New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a cop every other mile marker. The roads were just garbage. Like, you can tell they haven't put any money into the roads there.
So was Oklahoma and Texas. Total crap.
New Mexico's roads weren't great.
But the passing lane wasn't rough.
No. Arizona wasn't bad. Oklahoma's roads were great on the toll booth. Or on the toll road.
It's because they're collecting that change,
I-44.
man.
They're dumping it right back into the roads at least. So we hit single-digit temperatures through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, and that's what pretty much killed our battery. We were at 20. We went from 47 miles a gallon
to 28.
So
that was our worst. Was 28.
We were doing great on the way up, and it was that. In Pennsylvania, it was our coldest. We were in single-digit temperatures with a negative 12 wind chill, and it legit was cold. Like, my right leg was solid frozen.
What sucked was we have a 12-gallon tank.
Yeah.
And at the warning, Toyota wants you to have 3 gallons in reserve. We never put in more than 8 gallons once we got the reserve signal.
Oh, we always stopped on blink. When we had to. I mean, we didn't know what kind of gas mileage we were getting when we were
weather, it sucked. Or high altitude. Combination, who knows?
That's our first issue came in Indianapolis where I missed the exit. And we ended up driving through some sketchy parts of town. But I do think that saved us a few minutes. Because there was road work on the highway when I got off. That's why I missed my exit.
Messed up.
I missed my exit because there was road work and I needed to go right. The right-hand lane was closed. They wanted me to go left, then juke back right. Yeah, I'm not a football player. I couldn't figure all that out, so we just missed the exit and got off and drove through downtown Indy.
Now, what happened in southern Illinois? That one gas station we went in, I didn't see an employee ever.
Which one was that?
Where we put gas in?
I'm trying to remember it.
First day.
Was it a good gas station? Was it a Love's?
We didn't buy anything because we didn't see any employees. We got gas and we used the bathroom.
There was that's the crackhead lady was doing the mopping when I walked in, and I said, I gotta use your restroom. So she stopped mopping, and I think she went around the corner to the slot machines, and then you came in, and then she never came back from around the corner at the slot machines. But no, we didn't buy.
I probably could have used some coffee at that stop. What was it, about 11 o'clock at night?
We stopped at a Love's after that and got coffee, though. Because we didn't get coffee there.
Got coffee every stop on the way out there.
Coffee. It started with coffee.
And it ended up being coffee and Red Bull.
Jamie was getting these.
I was shaking.
He was getting these coffees that had 20% extra caffeine in them.
2 24-ounces and 3 Red Bulls before we were done.
Yeah, that was that last leg of the trip, man, was rough.
I couldn't close my eyes if someone forced me.
Then we went through our favorite new town. It is Uranus, Missouri.
Couldn't. You know the best fudge is made in Uranus, Brad?
The best fudge comes from Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
They have a sign, like legit, a billboard that says, "Welcome to Uranus. The best fudge comes from Uranus Fudge Factory."
And you know they're opening a hot dog stand this year because nothing's better than a wiener in Uranus.
You get a wiener in Uranus?
Yeah.
I saw a post with a bunch of cats on it this morning from their Twitter feed. I don't know what they're doing with those cats, but I hope they're not putting those cats in Uranus.
I wonder if they're going to call them pussy cats.
In Uranus?
Just around the corner from Uranus.
Dude, that is the craziest thing, man.
I ordered T-shirts. Should be
I know
in
you
at the
did.
end of the week.
You ordered. I ordered stickers. Jamie ordered fudge from there.
I got the Fudge variety pack with a free T-shirt.
You got the Fudge and Uranus variety pack.
Uh-huh.
I like the sign that says, "Thank you for picking Uranus." So I thought this was a real city, but apparently it's not.
Well, they just incorporated it as Uranus, Missouri.
I wonder, the other people that live there...
They got a second location in Illinois. Yeah, there's an article about they're pissed off.
What's it called in Illinois?
Uranus.
So did they incorporate it?
They did it the same way.
Well, we need to open up a Georgia branch.
Of Uranus?
I think these Southerners down in Georgia would be a little bit skeptical, you know. They'd be the ones buying it from you on Saturday and praying for you on Sunday because they've canceled you now because you got Uranus fudge. I just don't think it would work as well in the South as it does in Missouri and in Illinois. But I could be wrong.
Work related.
Always. So then we got in Oklahoma. Nothing really big happened in Oklahoma. You go through all the reservations there. I mean, there's a casino like every 4 miles. Costs like $36 to go through all the tolls, but they did have better roads because of it. Watch the sun come up in Oklahoma, and that's where the 50-mile-an-hour winds started at.
Dude, the wind was insane. You had to turn the wheel into the wind to go straight.
I mean, you did the driving at the beginning of that when the wind.
That was just nuts.
So once that wind hits, when you were in the driver's seat through Oklahoma,
I noticed the tread wear was weird after we got back. I think it was because of the wind in Oklahoma and Texas.
So we had wind literally the whole state of Oklahoma. When the sun came up in Oklahoma...
We had wind in Arizona and New Mexico, too, just not as bad, because there were mountains, I guess, blocking that wind.
We had 55-mile-an-hour winds all through Oklahoma. Or that was gusts. Had 55-mile-an-hour gusts through Oklahoma.
30 constant, wasn't it?
30-mile-an-hour constant winds. And it was... I mean, now I can see why Texas and Oklahoma have all those wind turbines.
Hey, can you tell our listeners what thermos not to buy since you had a thermos accident?
Yeah, I don't know what brand it was. It was like a knockoff.
So did it fly over on a balloon from China?
I think it was. It said made in China.
Oh, yeah.
It was good for one use. So I filled this thermos up when we left my house.
It looked like a multi-use thermos when you left.
No, it's a one-use thermos. So I was able to get 36 ounces of coffee in this thing. It kept it hot from Atlanta to New York City. Then I refilled it in Missouri and also threw it away in Missouri. Or I guess threw it down the highway.
I think it was Oklahoma. I would admit to that.
No, it wasn't. It was Missouri. Right?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was
Missouri. Nighttime. Who knows? It was on that road that cost, what was it?
Oh, it was on the...
How about the sketchy tolls? $20.
That's what we were just talking about.
And then we're going to refund you at exit. But then they don't refund you everything. I thought they were going to refund everything. And then you had to pay to get back on. Why'd they refund it? Just give you a
And it costs more to get back on.
Yeah.
It costs $5 to get off and then $5.50 to get back on. So you have no choice. Like if you got to go pee or you need gas, you got to get off.
And you got to pay for the road a couple times.
That was in the Mojave.
I watered the bushes in front of the Portofino Inn.
That's when I went and saw the sea lions. You were peeing in the bushes.
That was after 48 ounces of coffee and 36 ounces of Red Bull. There was a lot of peeing. It took me about 20 minutes to
pee.
Yeah, I had to spread my legs out, or I would have. Yeah, I was peeing uphill. It came back down.
The image you're painting, were you sitting on the ground?
No, I was standing.
It spread your leg. I mean, you squatted. Do the hover in the bushes. You're peeing in those bushes or taking a crap.
I didn't take a crap, I don't think, till I got home.
Not in the bushes.
6 days later.
Texas absolutely sucked. Like, I'm sorry if you're a fan of Texas. I think Texas is probably a beautiful state in some spots.
Somewhere.
But
I've never seen it.
We were in the panhandle of Texas where they don't have grass. Well, they have prairie.
They have tons of grass.
Prairie grass. But it's not green. It's gray.
I didn't see any signs for dispensaries, so you're right. They probably didn't have one kind of grass, but they had plenty of the other grass.
They didn't have the green grass. They had the brown grass.
Once we got out of Texas, headed west, every exit had dispensaries. So I'm assuming it's legal there, or they just don't care.
I'm sure it's legal from like New Mexico on.
Okay.
That's where we started seeing the signs at.
I wonder if that's why they had to cancel Breaking Bad.
No, that was meth.
It's not legal?
No.
Why not?
Those aren't meth dispensaries. I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh, they don't do meth?
Well, I'm sure they do meth. We saw the blown up RVs on the side of the highway and crap
out in the desert all the time. They're cooking meth in their RVs all over the place. Smoke coming up.
When one blows up, they just pull another one in.
Oh, I thought they were competing companies.
No.
Can you incorporate when you have an illegal drug business? You probably should, but
you'd have to
own a laundromat to clean up the money.
That's probably where you incorporate through your laundry service. I don't think you incorporate your meth cookhouse. I mean, they could legit turn.
Can you get a business?
They could turn that in and out into a meth house, and nobody'd ever know the difference.
Oh, we'll get to that. I hate.
So in Texas, we did see the Cadillac Ranch on the side of the road, which is a bunch of Cadillacs that look like they fell out of the sky and went head first into the ground, and then some bunch of hippies spray painted them.
But then we had the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, not a lot of you know about the Volkswagen Beetle
Ranch.
It's the exact same as the Cadillac Ranch,
just further down the road.
We actually ran across it on accident going to get gas. Remember, we had to get off of that one exit. And
that was just for Armadillo.
Yeah.
Armadillo.
Amarillo.
Amarillo?
Is that where Eric Amarillo's from?
I think so.
Amarillo, Texas?
Uh-huh. Is it Armadillo? It's Armadillo.
Amarillo.
I didn't see any armadillos in Amarillo.
Amarillo. It's Amarillo. I don't have a clue.
I don't know.
I'm not from there.
It was the biggest town in the Panhandle.
It was the only town.
No. We stopped at that one town.
Which one town?
We actually were so wiped out, we had McDonald's inside.
Was that in Texas?
Yeah.
Was that breakfast?
No, it was lunch.
I don't remember eating lunch.
We
at
took
all.
a 10-minute break.
It's amazing.
It was actually very good, McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I had chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that one.
That was, I think, the best meal we had actually doing the Cannonball Run.
The best.
Brad had an addiction, though, we need to address.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Man.
And it wasn't an addiction. It saved my life.
You were eating it constantly.
You weren't feeding me, though. I told Jamie, I was like, man, I need to eat dinner. And you're like, we're never going to make it if you keep stopping to eat. So I just had to starve.
Oh, my God. I thought I was traveling with my family.
Dude, it's horrible.
We had a destination to get to.
He wanted me to pee in my pants, and he wasn't going to let me eat.
No. I said...
Granted, he fed me breakfast. So I give him that.
said pee out the window. I didn't say pee in your pants.
I did get breakfast food every day. I got breakfast, so I
believe in breakfast.
I had my McDonald's.
The rest is just
my
optional.
McDonald's pancakes every day, which is basically what I eat for breakfast.
Oh, look, you said it like the Yankees. We call it McDonald's, and then you call it Mick.
McDonald's.
Wow, you called it McDonald's before we left.
But we was in the McDonald's region, not the McDonald's region.
Oh.
We didn't eat McDonald's.
I didn't know you were adjusting your...
Yeah, I adjusted based on the demographics. So if anybody from Texas or New Mexico is listening right now, they'll know we're talking about their McDonald's, not our McDonald's.
Talking about accents, today working, I was looking at it. I was talking to a guy who was not a dealer of ours, just prospecting. And we're having a good conversation. Actually, he watched the original Cannonball Run, and I told him we were on it. So we got a great open conversation thing, Cannonball Run.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking.
We have that the rest of our life.
And then I hear someone come down the hallway. And then all of a sudden I hear, "Oi! Oi! It looks like you're having a chin wag there, honey."
A chin
and
wag.
I looked at this lady who was obviously, I don't know, Australian, New Zealand, or English. And she saw that my eyes had bugged out. And she said, "Do you not know what a chin wag is?" I said, "No, not really." I started moving my chin like this, going, I was going,
wagging it.
And she goes, "No, that's what we call conversation."
Chin wag.
And I said, "Oh, yes, we're having a bloody chin wag."
Did you ever look that up?
No, because I came here to record.
She could have
after work.
She could have made it. She could have made it all up.
You think?
I mean,
all right, we had a no Google thing here, but
I mean, there's no reason.
I'm going to have to look it up. Why would she make it up? Because I look like a dumbass American?
Yeah.
Well, I was in America.
We make crap up all the time. Maybe she made it. Chin wag. I've never heard it.
Let's look. Oh,
what do you got?
So she's British. British slang for conversation.
Okay. Well, now you know she's British and not New Zealand or Australian.
Look, someone asked, is it offensive?
You named like 3 countries there. She was either this, that, or the other.
Well, I'm an ignorant American. Yeah. So, you know, I know an American accent. I don't know once you go across.
Yeah, but American accents vary. I mean, you got my accent, which is very it's like the northern.
Notice in California they had an accent too. It was like kind of like slow, like we talk with a drawl,
slow northern accent.
But it's more like, "Hey man, what's up?"
No, I think that was all the weed.
Wherever the whole state smelled like weed.
That's what I'm saying.
Like as soon as we crossed the border, I mean, we're in the freaking desert, and I'm like,
smell that?
What is that?
There's nobody around except a tent out in the middle of the desert. Like,
yeah, one little light, like miles away. What are they smoking marijuana?
Yeah, or growing it.
I'm surprised they didn't sell it at the Love's truck stops we stopped at.
Which, by the way, we do appreciate you, Loves.
Thanks, Loves.
They were clean.
They were the cleanest of the truck stops.
So New Mexico was probably our most eventful state.
Brad almost got kidnapped there.
I decided the Prius needed to get that battery working again. So without telling Jamie what I was doing, I decided to jump the Prius off the curb. And the battery now works.
I don't know what happened there.
I knocked the ice off the battery.
We pulled out.
I couldn't find the exit, okay?
We pulled out of the gas station.
I'd been awake for like 36 hours, so everything was blurring together.
The next thing I know, we're airborne.
Crap's flying everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, a Cheeto hit me in the nose, an empty Coke can hit my chin.
Chin
I don't know what the heck's going on. My case of chips in the back's all wonky. We landed, and next thing I know, we're getting 46 miles to the gallon or 48.
I think there was ice built up or salt built up on that battery.
The cable going from the battery under the back seat to
when I launched us in the air, the landing jarred it enough to knock it off. And that was my whole thought process. After I did it, I thought that was a good idea.
I think your theory's wrong, though, because when we got back up to 7,500 feet and it was cold coming back, we went back to 28 miles to the gallon.
We had more ice build up.
So you needed to jump it again in Oklahoma?
Well, we hit a big pothole in New Mexico going into Texas. I think that probably fixed it again.
Oh, okay.
Here's the pothole at the gas station that we almost got lost in.
I'm getting like 50 right now. Where
you stopped to get air in the tires and we almost went through the pothole that literally
the wind. I thought our pressures were off.
They weren't.
No, they weren't. We had to hit 3 gas stations.
The wind killed it. Like, no matter how many batteries we had in that car, the wind killed it. Because it was a headwind or a crosswind the whole time. So after we got that fixed, our next stop was where I almost got kidnapped.
Now, was the guy trying to sell us the Tide before or after?
I can't remember if he was at the kidnap gas station.
The sun was going down. I think the sun was up with the Native American trying to kidnap you.
You think?
We were on Navajo reservation at that point, I think.
We was on a reservation from Oklahoma to California. Just a different one.
You almost had to read each casino to see what tribe they were with.
Yes.
But that was a casino. They had a casino attached to it, and then a bigger casino with a hotel across the interstate from them.
I didn't realize that was a big casino, but
so I
go into this gas station. I go pee like you do at a gas station.
Like Brad did every hour. He peed.
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
His bladder's the size of a bottle cap.
Well, every hour I got to pee, so I got to pee in a lot of nice restrooms. So I go in there. I get an energy drink and a water and some chips, and I go to the counter to pay. And I noticed Deborah, all 680 pounds of Deborah, just sitting there on her stool.
Sure, her name wasn't Marge. Oh no, she had a name tag.
Oh, she had a name tag. Yeah. It said, and it was a license plate. If I thought back, she had a license, like a motorcycle license plate, because you would have never saw a little B name tag on that woman.
I didn't purchase anything, so I didn't purchase. I saw her behind the counter while you were waiting in line.
I didn't purchase anything either. I set my crap down and got out. That's when I jumped in the car and said, we got to go. So Deborah asked, she looked right at me and she said, hey, how you doing, honey? Where are you staying at tonight? I said, oh, we're just passing through, driving through. You want to stay at my house? I said, no, thank you. At this point, Deborah...
She's related to that lady in North Wilkesboro that wanted to wear my face?
At this point, Deborah gets up and starts coming towards me. And now...
Was that the little earthquake I felt?
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, I set my crap on the counter and I got out. Because she had these other 2 guys with her, too, who were also Native
we switched
Americans.
Driving then. I was in the passenger seat. Yeah. That's why I felt the big boom.
So this was the same gas station I knocked the crap off the bottom of the car. Because I got in the car.
No, that was the next gas station.
You sure about that?
I don't remember. It all runs together.
Because we would have swapped drivers at the next gas station. You were getting the next one.
Oh, no, you were driving to the Indian reservation. I drove, and then we switched with Tide Guy.
Tide Guy was, that's where.
Because the sun was going down there, and before that, Deborah, the sun was fully up. Well, we had just come through Albuquerque with Deborah.
Fully up, Deborah was going to kidnap me. I'm telling you, like she had a twinkle in her eye.
Well, as big as her purse was, she probably fit in it.
Yeah, she's just gonna. I think she was going to kidnap me, kill me, and run around with my face, wearing my face.
Might have scalped
like House of 1,000 Corpse.
I think she was a member of a satanic cult.
I'm pretty sure she was a member of a cult.
And after seeing the Grammys, I'm pretty sure.
That's the cult she's a member of?
Yeah, the one on the Grammys.
It freaked me out enough to get the heck out of there. So then we go on to the gas station, the next gas station, and that's where this little bitty guy comes over to Jamie, and I thought he had like a milk jug full of rocks, like gonna shake it to get your attention. It was an
orange bottle Tide.
But he legit had a bottle of Tide and he was selling, I don't know if he's selling the whole bottle or capfuls. What was he selling?
I'm not sure.
I was laughing so hard I couldn't even listen.
I just said, hey, you know
how
what?
bad do we stink for this guy to try to sell us laundry detergent?
I said, hey, I got like $1.25 in the console. Let me give it to you. And he's like, you don't want any Tide? I'm like, no. I'll just give you $1.
What am I going to put this Tide in? I mean, it was, I've never seen anybody selling laundry detergent at a gas station. And we've seen a lot. Like, there's not much, I don't think, that you could shock us anymore.
After you jumped off the curb and did a little Evel Knievel action in the Prius, that hotel, I looked it up when we got home.
Which hotel?
The El Rancho.
Yeah.
That was
the same.
That was built. Yeah, that was built by the brother of D.W. Griffith. And they filmed all these westerns out there, and all these movie stars had stayed there.
Really?
Like the 1920s and 30s.
We didn't stay there.
It looked kind of like it was built in the 1920s and 30s.
Yeah.
It was a motor court.
It hasn't been updated since they stayed
I don't know. I mean,
that was a weird town, too. That was Gallup.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That was Gallup, because the town
went 5 miles down one road.
On the left.
Then the main road took a right, and it went 5 miles. It was like a big 90-degree L.
I think that was just the way the reservation was shaped. Like, there was no Gallup on the reservation. They had to use the American land.
The non-nation land?
Or whatever you call it. I think
they're, having watched Yellowstone,
I'm so confused. Like,
they're their own nation. We have treaties with them.
I get that. That part I understand. But are they Native Americans?
I think they're Native Americans to that state, because Oklahoma's where Andrew Jackson, the president in the 1820s, shipped them all to.
I think he shipped them.
They made them walk, because I went to that thing at Cherokee, North Carolina when I was a kid. It's called Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
A lot of people died.
Yeah, I've heard of that. We actually still studied that when I was in school. I don't think they do it anymore.
Well, I noticed the Alt-Mulgee Indians. The Alt-Mulgee Indian mounds are in Macon, Georgia. That's where they ended up.
So we went through Cherokee Nation.
Crow.
We went through Crow Nation. We went through, what was the other one? Hopi? Something like that?
Hopi, Navajo, Comanche.
We went through Navajo twice.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
That's like the western half of New Mexico and the eastern half of Arizona.
Pretty much the majority of Oklahoma is a reservation.
Yeah. And
the casinos are crazy. Like,
everywhere.
Some of them are really nice buildings. Some of them
are a tent.
Some of them are tents.
I never seen a casino tent before.
That was a big tent too.
It was a big tent.
It's like a circus tent with a casino in it.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't go inside it. We don't know.
Well, even on the way back, it was kind of a race. We were so tired of driving that.
Yeah, we weren't even willing to go an hour out of our way to see the Grand Canyon on the way home.
Or the Big Blue Hole. Or the crater.
Yeah, we saw the crater thing. If we couldn't see it from the highway, we weren't going to see it.
We did see an abandoned adobe out in the middle of the desert.
Saw a lot of those.
Which is just weird.
Saw aliens in the desert.
Aliens? We saw all kinds.
Undocumented migrants.
From space.
From space. Look, these guys we saw in Arizona, through the deserts of Arizona, we saw these guys out in the distance.
Hiking.
With packs on and water jugs.
Yeah.
Multiple water jugs.
Milk gallon jugs of water. Just walking.
I don't know that they were legit illegal aliens or undocumented migrants.
Maybe we should elect them as our politicians, because we said
we should have stopped and picked them up.
But they're walking across America. They're going to be more in touch with America than we were driving through.
Well, they're already allowed to vote. So
I think Deborah was being nice to you, though.
You think?
I think
Just offering me a place to stay?
Yeah.
Why did she get up and come at me? Not that I couldn't outrun her.
She felt that you had the wrong impression when you ran.
Oh, I did have the wrong impression then. I had the impression she was going to kidnap me and hurt me.
And she
looked like she was going to violently kill me.
She was a foot taller and 400 pounds heavier.
Yeah. She was like 7'3".
She could have fallen on you and just said, I tripped, and no one would have known you were under her.
That's fact. She could have just lay there and told you, I don't know where your friend went. I've been laying here on the floor for 30 minutes.
Huh.
I'm just glad we got out of New Mexico safely.
We did not stop at that truck stop on the way back. It was a 66, though. Did you notice those 66 truck stops were nasty?
They had bad gas, too. The gas at Jamie's been saying this for years, y'all. When we go on trips together, like when we go to the races and stuff together, he's like, "Oh, I got bad gas again from the Ingles or whatever."
Ingles, that's where I get bad gas. Ingles.
So I didn't understand this bad gas thing Jamie speaks of until we got gas at the 66, and I watched my gas mileage literally go down because of the type of gas I put in.
So I've done some investigation, a deep dive into Reddit.
Yeah, but they don't even have good their octane's lower.
It is lower.
It's 86. We're used to 87.
But also, what I read was they had E85 available.
Should we have used that?
Same pump. So what they say is
residue.
Well, like the mid range, there's 3 tanks: E85, 86 in the west, and then 91 is their high octane, and then they got the 89. They mix the 86 with the 91 to get to. I think they had 88
to get mid grade.
Yes.
So what were we getting?
Well, if someone uses
84 and a quarter
E85 and it's the same pump, 1/3 of your tank of gas can be E85.
That's why we got such bad gas mileage.
That's my assumption. That's why I don't go to Ingles anymore, because E85 is available from the same pump.
So what do you use the E85 for, though?
Don't you do it to save money? It's cheaper. But think about it. That hose goes all the way to the tank, right?
Yeah.
If the guy before you did an E85,
there's a full hose of E85 going into your tank.
Into your tank. And even though you might have selected the 91 octane.
That's what screws your gas mileage up.
Well, yep, that's what I did during the Super Bowl.
So that's what,
dive.
That's what got us.
E85, high altitude, and low temperatures.
A little bit of everything. So Jamie mentioned my addiction. I don't think it was an addiction. It was...
Maybe you should give him a free ad on our podcast.
Yeah, I am. So Little Debbie mini frosted chocolate donuts. To buy the little 6-pack of them cost 25 cents more than buying the 30-pack bag. It made no sense to me whatsoever. Convenience, maybe? I don't know. So I just started buying these bags of donuts, not knowing it was going to be the only thing I got to eat the whole trip. And I legit ate... I think I did eat 4 bags of donuts in 6 days.
Yeah.
Hey, I lost weight.
Well, you had a donut every day.
I lost weight.
No, I lost 7 pounds and ate horribly.
Yeah. But that's because we didn't eat a lot. We were probably running on like a 900-calorie diet.
Cheeto. Well, the coffee said it was 50 calories per 24 ounce. So, and I drank black. So
that was 100 calories.
And I did sugar-free Red Bull. So I wasn't getting calories with that.
Yeah, I did. Was that big when you did that huge Red Bull, the 30
sugar-free?
That was sugar-free too?
Yeah.
Those are nasty, man.
They are nasty.
I don't know how we used to drink them all the time back in the day. I don't know how we did it. So yeah, I ate a ton of Little Debbie's. Thank you, Little Debbie, for getting me through. Arizona, that was where I started hallucinating at. That was like
That's where you saw Batman, wasn't it?
Hour 40. So... they make, like, the patches on the road, like cracks that get in the asphalt. They put the black patches over it to fix it, right?
So we had 2 places where each one of us bailed out. I bailed in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I said, Brad, you got to drive. I can't drive anymore. In high desert California,
I bailed.
Brad said, dude, there is animals and bats coming off the road and flying.
At the car.
At the car.
It's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas bats, but bigger.
But no drugs.
Yeah, completely sober.
2 days up straight.
No sleep. This is like hour 40.
You don't need drugs.
We were coming through the snow in Flagstaff, and I'm going, man, I'm seeing things. Maybe it's just my eyes. I didn't think nothing of it. We're coming down the mountain in Flagstaff, and now it's like straight downhill. I'm just literally, our gas mileage is going way up because I never even had to hit the gas pedal leaving Flagstaff. And it was around then, I'm like, dude, you're going to probably have to drive pretty soon. And you're like, oh, you can make it to California. I made it to California.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
we crossed into Nettles, California, and switched.
I couldn't do it no more. I was legit. I couldn't tell where the road started and the desert began.
And it was at that, I don't even know what gas station. It wasn't a truck stop that I got.
That was a Chevron.
2 24-ounce coffees and 3 Red Bulls.
That's where gas went from $3.20 a gallon,
$5.85.
and then you cross the line and it's $2 more a gallon. It's like, what the heck?
We should have begged those dudes in the desert for their gallon jugs and put gas.
Bring gas with them. So
everything in California doubled, though. Did you notice?
That's why there's so many homeless people.
I mean,
they take all your money, and you have to
candy bars and a bag of chips doubled.
Yeah, that wasn't cool, man. I've never hallucinated like that from staying up. Like I'll say it now because we survived, but I mean, that was probably the dumbest thing we've done is not sleeping and driving across country, because there were moments. It also hit you on the way after the clash, on the way to Kingsman, Arizona. It hit you at the rest area.
Oh yeah,
Mojave Desert. You're like, you gotta drive, dude.
You drive. That's when I saw.
And you went to sleep.
That's when I saw faces, and I thought they were in the trees.
Yeah.
But when we pulled over,
there weren't even trees.
There were no trees. It was white sand.
Yeah, we're like, we stopped at a rest area because I had to pee, and Jamie's like, I'm seeing faces in the trees. I'm looking around like, there's not any trees anywhere.
There's a full moon, and I start looking and go, oh. It's just the desert.
He said, you think you can drive? I'm like, yeah, I got it. That was rough. That was probably one of the hardest, like, not the hallucinating, that was tough, but staying awake parts was that very last leg into Kingman. We were running on, like, we had 4 hours of sleep at the Motel 6. We went to LA, went to the Clash, left the Clash, and we're just slap beat. So that was probably one of the harder legs of our whole trip.
Well, what got me is I'm looking at Waze and it tells me I'm going to get there at 12:30.
Well, time change.
But Waze didn't calculate that hour we're going to gain back.
That's why I used Google Maps all the time, because it automatically did that for me.
Kind of pissed me off, Waze.
Waze was screwed up. Waze was like,
they're both owned by Google.
You have 2,300 miles to go. You will arrive at your destination in 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it did that too.
Like, Waze was cracked out the whole time. It did not know where we were at whatsoever. So basically, we survived on Little Debbie. What else we eat?
Well, I had those bags of, I had the case of Cheetos and Doritos.
And I had those snaps, jalapeno snap.
Yeah, you ate those the whole drive. I ate the chips the whole drive.
That's about it.
Water. We had water.
I bought those dehydrated fruit, and I ended up throwing all of it out the window.
Oh, yeah, there is a trail, if anyone wants to find it, from New York City all the way to California of dried bananas.
The bananas are the cheapest thing to make. So that's why it's full of bananas. And these bananas,
and if you didn't throw it good, the wind blew it back into the side of the car. It sounded like somebody was throwing gravel at us.
So, I mean, you would legit chip a tooth if you bit into one of those bananas. They weren't dehydrated. They were petrified.
When we got to Barstow, I think we were both wide awake because we were like 2-3 hours to our finish line.
I don't think, we were awake, but we weren't alert.
Once we got to down to San Bernardino, though, I think we were alert at that point because I'm doing 85 and cars are still going.
They were flying by us, man.
3 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Insane how fast people in California drive, and like we said before, they're some of the best drivers. We never saw one accident the whole time in LA. Now we were only in LA. We were in California for
24 hours,
if that. It was probably like. We were probably a few hours short.
We were 3 a.m. We probably got in about 1.
Yeah.
In Nettles.
And then we got to Kingman at 1 a.m. Monday morning, 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So 24 hours exactly. And we were out. I mean, legit, we got to the hotel, took a 3-hour nap, got up, went to the racetrack. Because, I mean, we're still on Eastern time zone.
Yeah, I never got used to the other time zones.
Well, we were never in them longer than a day.
And we were up constantly, so.
You couldn't sleep while you were driving.
So we'll actually talk
you can't
about
sleep while you drive.
Our hotel experience
at the
later.
Hotel part of the show.
Yeah, because.
Yeah, we're going to review the hotels we stayed in. Jamie's going to read
a review, and then we're going to review them.
Yeah, they were. Our Motel 6 was an experience. We'll just leave it at that for now. So, what else we got? Jamie pissed in the bushes at the Portofino Inn.
Boy, that was a long piss. We probably could have got an extra hour's sleep if I didn't hold it from that truck stop in Nettles
He also pissed in the Mojave Desert.
twice.
Yeah, I mean,
Going and coming back.
one time I was in a toilet though. Maybe that was a
No, there are two roadsides in the Portofino.
I was in and out of consciousness at the first Mojave piss. The second one.
Oh, that's where we switched.
Yeah.
We didn't even pull over.
Oh, yeah, we pulled over
on the
road
interstate.
switch. That's
Interstate
right.
40 in the desert.
You had to pee, and I was asleep by the time you got
You were
done peeing.
asleep. You were actually asleep when you pulled over. I had to wake you. I said, Brad,
It's time to pull
if
over.
you're going to switch, just pull over because there's no one on the road.
Yeah, there was one time I was like, man, I think I dozed off for like 20 or 30 minutes. And Jamie goes, yeah, me too. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, man. So that was fun. We got to Motel 6. Had Big Bertha there. That night audit she had going on, that was messing us all up.
She's one of a kind.
We'd have probably slept longer, I would think, if that window wouldn't have been open.
It took me a while to figure out why the interstate was in our room.
So, one thing that LA does have a lot of, and that's homeless people.
Jeez, man. And trash.
That's
More trash than New York City.
That's not trash. That's homeless people's clothes, man. That's their bags. They travel with.
What about the empty bottles?
What's
and the
bad?
wrappers?
So the trash is bad in L.A. In New York City, they just pile their garbage bags on the
and
side.
trash bags, at least.
Yeah, but those are picked up by the garbage people. Like later.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, I didn't see them the next morning, so. Do they run garbage service all night? That would explain.
Remember, we saw a garbage truck when we pulled in at 10 o'clock at night.
No, I mean, my memory's getting a little foggy.
Okay.
On that stuff, I remember New York City was big, and we saw the butt of the Statue of Liberty. Saw her behind.
I saw her torch in her head.
Yeah, and her butt.
And her butt.
They really should.
She has a nice butt.
They should have worked harder on that butt, though.
I think she has a nice butt.
I think they could have done a better job.
Well, but back then, loose clothing was in, so
They could have still.
You're not gonna see yoga pant butt.
That's what
on
we
the
need.
Statue of
We
Liberty.
need to redo the Statue of Liberty with yoga pants on.
Some Athletica or some Lululemon.
Yeah, Fabletics.
Okay.
So you drive down the road in LA, like I've seen videos of this on Instagram or on Twitter of people videoing these homeless encampments, but they're legit
Everywhere.
like for as far as the eye can see.
How about the RVs with the tarps?
There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's RVs parked on the side of the road with tarps on them as far as the eye can see too. You had people pissing and pooping in the bushes. You had two people doing something that I'm not going to say what they were probably doing. Maybe they were wrestling. You think they was wrestling there in them bushes?
Naked wrestling with their... Well, it wasn't truly naked. Their pants were down to their knees.
Yeah, they might have... Maybe they just got so intense the fight did and their pants fell down.
And we don't claim to be a family show, but you can imagine it. We don't have to say it.
Yeah, that's you see people shooting up.
Yeah.
And they're not taking B12 shots. I'm pretty confident.
You don't think so?
No. Because they either fall over after they get done or they jump up and run around screaming.
So we leave the hotel at like, I don't know, 10 a.m. their time. We got 6 hours that night or morning. I think so.
We didn't go to bed till 4. We got to the hotel at 3:30.
No, it was later than that because she was...
Took us an hour to get
She
checked
was
in.
a...
I legit was about to roll my sleeping bag out in the lobby.
Well, we were sleeping in the lobby for 45 minutes.
Oh, I went to sleep, but I didn't roll my bag out. I'm saying I was going to roll my sleeping bag out soon and crawl in it. But I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I think we got 4 hours.
Okay.
Because it was about 8:30 where I said, all right, man, we got to get some breakfast.
So we're going to the campus of USC to park because that's where the LA Memorial Coliseum is.
And we're looking for breakfast. Are we going there now? Is it time?
Yeah, it's time to go there. We ended up skipping breakfast.
Yeah. We
both saw
all intentions of going to eat. We were hungry. We were starving, actually.
And then it happened. Had a light.
So
I didn't say anything at first because I thought
neither
maybe
one
I
of
was
us said
still
anything.
hallucinating.
We just looked at each other like in shock. So
finally, after a few minutes, because the light lasted 10 minutes long, I don't know which one of us said it, but someone said, "Did you see that?" And I said,
"At this point in the show, if your child is listening, you might want to throw them out of the car. Just push them out. Just open the door.
We're just not going to sugarcoat this one.
Yeah. So here it goes. I'm just going to say it.
Fast forward 10 seconds.
Maybe 30. So there's this homeless dude on the side of the road wearing joggers. And
he was in front of a CVS or a Walgreens.
We pull up to the red light, and he's legit got his arm down his pants, like dancing, digging for something.
There was no question his hand was in his butthole.
Oh, yeah. Then he hikes up his leg and kind of bends over.
And withdrew something.
And pulls a bottle out of his butthole.
I think it was like when I went to camp when I was a kid. I think it was a red toothbrush protector.
You think it was a toothbrush? I think he probably...
it was tubular.
Yeah, I mean, it was round it was like a small Pringles can. Like when you used to go to the beach, they give you these tubes to wear around your neck to keep your money in. So if you wanted to buy something on the beach, and it would keep it dry. It looked like
maybe that's how he had to protect his cash.
I mean, he was protecting his cash or his butt. I mean, one of the two was protected with that plug.
I'm assuming it was a he. He looked like a he, and the butt was the only place he could put it.
Or he had no shirt on.
No, and his sweatpants are really disgusting.
And he had a big old beard, so I'm going to go with a he.
He didn't even have shoes on.
No, well, a lot of people didn't have shoes on. Legit, this dude bends over and pulls this out of his butthole.
Red tube out of his butthole.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's not knowing what you saw. You didn't have to go, what did I just see? You knew what you saw, and it was so bad. You didn't know it. You didn't know if it was real.
I mean, I wanted to roll down the window, but being in California, he might have been gang affiliated. I want to say, did you just pull that out of Uranus? But we had just been in Uranus like 24 hours earlier.
I mean, we got Fudge in Uranus.
Yeah.
And he had a bottle in his anus.
I didn't see any fudge in his bottle.
I mean, and it was legit like 8 feet from us. This wasn't like we saw this across town. It was
on a corner, like he could press the button across.
Yeah, and we're at the red light waiting on him to walk across, but he didn't walk across.
Oh, he pulled something out.
He could have looked in the other direction and been nice, but he showed the whole street.
He named that corner. He gave it a town name of my anus.
Yeah, it was my anus.
It wasn't your anus.
It wasn't my anus. It was his anus, but his anus had a bottle in it. I'm thinking he kept his... I mean, Jamie thought maybe he was keeping his toothbrush in it, but he didn't have any teeth, so I'm thinking it's probably his crack or something.
I mean, I'm not homeless, but if I was, I think I'd go to an alley to pull that out.
I wouldn't have done it on the corner.
No.
At the Felix Chevrolet dealership.
I love that sign, but...
He didn't love the homeless guy pulling the bottle out of his butt.
After that, we took a left, and I was like...
We didn't speak for minutes. Like, we were just shocked.
I said, hey, Brad, there's a Dunkin'. And you said, well, there's a McDonald's. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it now, dude. Yeah, I can't unsee that.
I couldn't eat. I could not make myself... I couldn't even think. this came after we saw 2 people in the bushes wrestling naked. After we watched a dude take a crap on the sidewalk. We seen dudes peeing on the sidewalk.
We didn't see that in New York.
None of that fazed me like watching a grown 6'3" man with no shirt on bend over, hike his left leg up in the air, and pull a Pringles can out of his butt.
I don't think it was that big, but I turned away, so I'm not sure. I
tried to turn away, but it's like watching a train wreck. I didn't know what was going to happen.
I pretended to look for pedestrians coming from the other side of the street.
Well, it was like a pedestrian tunnel coming out. Ugh. It was horrible. Like I said, think of the worst thing you could see. We just got you beat. There's no way you could find that anywhere else except in L.A. That's why we didn't stay in L.A. after the race. We had to get out of there because we knew what they had there. That will ruin your appetite. Nothing will ruin your appetite like a Pringles can coming out of a homeless man's butthole.
So we paid for parking and walked over to the L.A. Memorial Coliseum after the butthole.
To the Epstein building.
Oh, yeah, there's an Epstein building there.
You want to explain that one to me?
Well, there was children playing all around it. I don't want to go there.
I thought I heard crying.
There was crying because that lady was beating her child or someone's child.
Get back in that building.
Uh-huh.
They were kind of like using a broom. I
was thinking maybe she was being...
Wouldn't you change the name of that building from the Epstein building? With everything going on with Epstein, Wouldn't you change the name of that building? Why be proud of it like
Well, I was
are?
waiting for Bill and Hillary to come kill the children, get rid of witnesses.
The Epstein building. I think it was across from the Clinton building.
Probably was.
That way, if you linger too long, they'll pull you in that Clinton building and you never come out. You're going in one of those two buildings if you stop in between them. So that was kind of crazy. It's a beautiful campus, though. I mean, that's not a lie. It really is a beautiful campus. It's clean.
Coliseum's awesome.
The campus is very much clean. So,
So we went to the fan area.
Yeah, we went to the Clash.
Fan zone.
The Clash was, on a scale of 1 to 10, I gave the Clash a 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10.
That's the whole day. That's from the time we got there to the time we left. It was, I mean, if you've never been to the Clash.
We met that dude Marty at the pizza food truck.
Oh, yeah, you got a pizza, I got a burger.
Yeah, and the pizza was good. It was expensive.
He was an ARCA West racer.
Yeah, ARCA West.
Yeah, he's like, y'all must be regular race fans. You look like it. That's because we were old. Compared to everybody else there, we were the old dudes.
Which made the Clash exactly what it's for, to get new fans.
And like I told Jamie even.
He was from Oregon, Pendleton, Oregon. I don't know where it's at, but.
I'm willing to give up the Daytona Clash, what we grew up on. I'm willing to give that up if it keeps this sport alive.
Man, the demographic there was teenagers, man. College
students. People you wouldn't see at Atlanta Motor Speedway or Talladega or Bristol or Daytona.
I would say 80% of the fans are not
fans.
They might be fans now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the Clash delivered what they wanted to see. I mean, when a car would get spun around, you had the VIP college student section is what I was calling it, right in front of the torch. And that's where all the celebrities were sitting at. And all the college students were sitting there as well. It's where the bands played at. When a car would spin around, that section would go absolutely crazy. They loved it. And that's what's going to bring them back. That's what gets them to tune in this weekend for the Daytona 500.
They even picked their black hat drivers and booed when they spun someone out.
Oh, yeah. They knew who they liked. They knew who they hated. I mean, it all happened organically, and it was just really cool to see. I
kind of like the DJ spinning during caution breaks.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that at every racetrack. So we had Cypress Hill. They opened up. We had that other guy. You know what was his name? Waqif or
Nice Khalifa, Little Khalifa.
I don't have a clue.
I liked him.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I never heard him before.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Then we had the Cheat Codes. They're the DJs that played.
What about there was that country chick?
Dixie. I don't think she was country.
Oh,
and she never sang.
Yeah, she was singing.
No, remember she walked off and she kept singing. She was like,
she
was lip syncing so bad she gave up.
Oh no, she just yeah.
I didn't think we were going to get a national anthem. I was about to get all frustrated, but we got one. I don't understand why they didn't do the national anthem before the heat races.
I don't know either. It was weird.
I've never seen a race start
but it was California. They're their own country.
Oh, no doubt.
There's no doubt.
We were in the state of LA. I mean, so things are different. When
they even said this is the best race in the state of Los Angeles.
Those exact words.
I was like, what?
That wasn't Mamba. Mamba was with the guy when he said that, but...
Was that a guy from Murray Hill?
That was a guy from... the guy who said that was the comedian who introduced all the drivers wrong.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know anything about NASCAR. He's like, and here we have Kyle the Hitman Busch. Like, nobody calls him that. Kevin the Killer Harvick. Nobody calls him that. He didn't even get their team names right.
I think he was an F1 fan.
I don't think he was a race fan at all.
He was a goober.
He was from that new TV show coming out on Fox. So
Animal Control.
Yeah, well.
Goober.
I think the show probably sucks. If the show is anything like his driver introductions, it's going to be horrible.
He was the wrong guy to bring in for the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was our age, my age.
The Cheat Codes did a good job. The DJs, I
liked them.
They had that One Night in Nashville album they just put out where it's like they kind of DJ all the country songs and make them better. I've listened to the whole thing. I've been working out to it now.
With those Hollywood stars they had there, wrong guys. Yeah. Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know
He
who
was
Rob
like
is, but not for
big
that.
when I was a kid with all the little
So,
brat
in my
pack
opinion,
movies.
Cypress Hill was a little outdated, too.
I thought so too.
I enjoyed Cypress Hill. I've seen them a few times. I didn't.
I saw him back with Lollapalooza.
I saw them over up for Blink 182. Like, legit.
I mean, they
early
were
2000s.
that one guy in front of us. He got all into
Oh,
it.
he was.
Unfortunately for him, I was
That
like,
was
yeah,
your spirit animal.
that dude is all by himself. He's never married, no kids, and the main race? Here comes his wife and kids.
Yep. Jamie was making fun of him. He had camo Crocs on. I mean, he definitely grew up listening to Cypress Hill.
Yeah, he did. No, he was all into it. He was doing devil signs for Cypress Hills.
Oh, he threw up the horns?
Yeah. Wow.
Is that what we call that, devil horns? That's just rock and roll, isn't it?
It became heavy metal, but
Put your horns up, right?
yeah.
Is it supposed to
I
be
think it means more rebellion because that dude on the Grammys, he went full Satan.
Yeah, he actually wore real horns.
Yeah, he went full Satan.
And I don't understand that either. Like, dude was dressed in like red spandex, and he's a big dude. Did you see what he wore to the British show?
That weird?
The balloon outfit?
Yeah, that guy's a weirdo.
If it would have been white and he would have taken off in the air and started floating, we would have shot him down.
If he was in America, yeah.
I mean, that's legit what he looked like. He's weird. My wife actually said he used to not be that weird. That he actually has some good
Now
music
it's
back
getting
in the
more
day.
attention, so.
Well, that's why he's doing it. It's like he's no different than Marilyn Manson or Alice Cooper or King
I think
Diamond.
he got kind of caught up with being like Harry Styles, Mr. Clean Guy,
Yeah.
and he decided that wasn't working for him.
Yeah.
So let's worship the devil and wear weird balloons.
Yeah, and he had that other trans person with him.
I think he was trans. Is he trans?
Sam?
Or is he bilingual?
No, he's he's non-bilingual.
No, he's not bilingual.
No, he's non-bilingual. That's what he identifies.
Okay.
He identifies as something different than us. That's a fact. He identifies as the devil.
I think so. He must be a high priest of the devil land.
So the heat races were really good. I actually enjoyed the heat races.
Eric Almirola earned his place.
Dude, no doubt.
Dude was...
Kevin Harvick is going to be fun to watch this season.
Oh, he was bumping
he hit everybody. Like, it was awesome to see. What else? Like I was saying before, don't judge this race based
Bubba
off
was
TV.
bumping people. Well, actually, it's hard
Bubba
to
wrecked
tell.
his boss.
Yeah, he did. But the hard thing to notice was who was at fault because the whole line was bumping.
Well, it was
like a dominoes falling. It was like bump, 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 wreck.
What was interesting when we listened to Denny's new podcast, he was talking about how pissed he was at somebody at William Byron, and William's like, "Yeah, dude, I got hit from behind." Denny's like, "Oh, my bad." And Denny said that was the problem. Nobody could really be mad at anybody because everybody
the only
was
person
pushing.
that got space would have been Truex in the main event. He got 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of everybody.
That was
Everybody
it.
else was in the snake line or Congo line, whatever you want to call it.
They were just beating and banging.
No, it was awesome.
Nuts to butts the whole time.
And for bringing in new fans, 10 out of 10. I'd go there again on... I think we'd fly Southwest next time because they suck and they'll discount flights next year.
Yeah, we actually saw some people, or
We saw Southwest Jet fly over our head.
I don't remember how we found this story out. Somebody might have told it on a podcast for all I know at this point, but those 2 guys from Chicago flew in for the race and then caught the red eye home. Maybe that was on the Gluck podcast we heard that. Or was that somebody we were talking to?
It all runs together.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
We didn't have any sleep for 6 days.
At that point, everything was bleeding together, so...
I got home at 10 o'clock Tuesday night and took a crap and went to bed.
What I'm saying is don't judge the clash.
No toothpaste tube came out.
Thank God. Don't judge the clash based on what you saw on TV.
No, you got to go.
Fox is going to screw up anything they play on TV anyway.
They screwed up the Super Bowl, so...
You say this, yeah. So... You don't judge the clash by Fox's crappy coverage.
But I'm going to give
go
Fox some street cred.
For what?
Their booth was in
in our way.
3 and 4, and they had it hinged, and they dropped it when the action took place.
Yeah, they lowered it down. So that wasn't the booth, though. That was like pre-race booth. And then they came back on during halftime to talk in the booth again, and then they closed it back down. because the booth was up, and then during the heat races, it went down. The booth came back up. The booth went back down. It was an up and down booth.
Brad was very pissed with Truex winning. He's anti-Joe Gibbs now.
Yeah, I do not like Joe Gibbs. I've always been anti-Gibbs. That ain't nothing new.
Why?
I do not like a Gibbs driver until A, they leave Gibbs, or B, they start their own team. And then I can
podcast.
I like Denny Hamlin now.
Denny was very friendly at the 600.
But Denny had a team at that point.
It's true.
So he wasn't just a Gibbs bullet. He was Denny Hamlin, team owner, 2311.
Did you notice he didn't ask us to come down to the VIP section?
I was okay with that.
He said
as tired as I was.
But he said at the 600 we were his new friends.
Yeah, Denny. What was up with that? For friends, he ain't called us.
Yeah.
Ain't calling nobody back.
You think he would be guest on this? He'd be our first guest.
Maybe we can be his first guest. He's got his
That's
podcast
true.
now. We could bring our listeners over to his new podcast.
I mean, think how you need to change the introduction.
To what?
America, the one and only podcast on racing, and also champions of the Cannonball Run.
So,
we're the only podcast that have done the Cannonball Run.
That's fact. Last night I was at church. We had a meeting at church, and my preacher introduced me as Cannonball Run champion to the whole group at our meeting.
He didn't describe that it was in a 1.5 liter.
Oh, yeah. He said in a Prius.
Bone stock Prius?
He said a stock Prius.
Oh, that's good.
He said we're Cannonball Run champions, 44 hours and 3 minutes in a stock 1.5 Prius.
Preach. If you have made it here without fast forwarding, you want to, for breakfast conversation before the clash, fast forward.
Breakfast conversation. Oh, yeah. You probably don't want to hear the story about the red tube.
I mean, not that it's not sinful. Maybe it was sinful for that.
It was see it.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see that.
It definitely wasn't pornographic.
Anything else from the clash that stood out to you? AJ Allmendinger stood out to me. I think he's going to have a heck of a season.
Him and little Ty. You know what? Everybody was beating up on Ty. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but Ty, he got out of the car.
Oh, he had a little tantrum that probably wasn't on TV.
He was like kicking the wall.
And then he went over to the tires.
Yeah.
And had a tantrum.
Kicked the tire.
Between the wall and the tires.
Threw his gloves. Threw his sock hat. He was mad.
I'm going to love not liking Ty.
When he did his interview on TV, my mother-in-law texted me and she's like, Ty didn't thank any of his sponsors. He just complained and cried. And I went back and watched it. And he lives up to his name. Ty just can't help. He can't get out of his own way. Nobody's going to really... he'll have his fans because every douchebag has their fans, but...
Well, you got Allmendinger. I guess he was never put in his place.
He did better in the Xfinity Series. I don't think Allmendinger...
He's a little whiner.
Well, his blood pressure runs a little thick, So he gets so mad, at any little thing makes him mad. He was mad in practice because a guy turned left. Duh. You can only turn left.
He was mad that we were Cannonball Run champions.
And he wasn't.
No, he's not.
And he could be if he wanted to be.
He'd have to pick the right car.
Yeah, he probably couldn't do it.
Has never done it.
Couldn't do it in a colleague car. Their gas mileage sucks. So he had to stop every gas station.
We could put one of those things they have on the jets. He could fuel while he's driving. One of those big long poles that stick out.
Just get a trailer. That's what we'll do next time. We'll just pull a fuel trailer behind the Prius.
He can meet up. We could have, every 100 miles.
We'll just fuel him from the road.
He could go to a rest area and change tires.
Oh, yeah, the tires. They would have to use the all-weather tires. Those damn.
Can you believe 2 cars ran out of gas on the Clash?
They would have to use those moist weather tires.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they are called now?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you run out of gas? It's only the front row guys. And I think it was intentional.
I think they were trying to save money.
I think it was intentional. I think McDowell and Gilligan ran out of gas on purpose. They ran out of gas on purpose to get on TV. They brought out a caution.
Well, it helped their sponsors, and then one lost his ride for the whole season.
It was.
He's only partial now.
That was because he didn't run out of gas.
Is that Gilligan?
Yeah, Gilligan should have done it first. But
Didn't he win a 500?
No, that was his buddy.
That's the other car.
Yeah, Michael McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Well, he should, McDonald's is missing out. They should sponsor. He's our Loves guy, though.
He is our Loves guy.
And we love Loves.
Loves is my favorite truck stop.
We love Loves.
They sell the extra 20% caffeine coffee.
So we left the Clash and headed back to what we thought was going to be Flagstaff, but thank God Jamie was hallucinating when he made the
Yeah, I selected the wrong hotel, and it ended up, instead of being Flagstaff, Kingman, which was 2.5 hours closer. Thank God.
Like we were saying at the beginning of this
Would have been pointless to go to Flagstaff. It would have been 6 a.m.
Oh, man, that would have sucked.
Check in.
We wouldn't have made it.
No.
That was an additional 2 hours through the snow. We would not have made that.
I think God selected.
Yeah,
Kingman.
God made you hallucinate into selecting that.
Yeah,
He read reviews for like an hour.
And this is a good one, because there's not a lot of choices.
Oh, no.
Especially when you're doing it 2 or 3 hours before you get there.
Your options are your options are limited to motels, not hotels.
The ones we make fun of.
Yes.
We stayed at ones we make fun of.
We basically went on a Wyndham tour.
La Quinta, we've never reviewed. They were okay.
Yeah, and that's still...
Actually, the Red Roof Inn, Kingman,
We got 7 hours of sleep there.
I mean, those are the hotels we're going to talk about.
Like, the trip back across was pretty uneventful.
Pretty much.
We met Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
What was that place? The Bronny's or whatever?
Bronze Ice Cream.
That place. We stopped at Bronze.
He refused to say hello or make eye contact.
He would not even turn around and wave.
No, nothing. No acknowledgement.
We loudly discussed what we were going to order when he would turn around.
Because he's only 3 feet away.
No, he never turned around. He never looked in our direction. So we left. Pissed off, we left. Then we go across the street to the McDonald's because
they threw
Oklahoma.
Their Brad's coffee at him.
And she didn't even say, I'm sorry. That's what... I understand she's probably embarrassed that she threw my whole large coffee at me. But... And I'm sorry, nothing. She just took off, bolted.
You know, that was the first McDonald's I had cold hash browns ever in my entire life.
Oh, at least your hash browns were just cold. My hash browns had a bite taken out.
Oh, yeah, half of it was bit.
Somebody legit, and you could see the teeth marks. So I had to pull that off, throw it out. I gave up. I just ate what I had, and we went on they brought me another coffee.
They didn't bring you another hash brown.
No. But they had already taken a bite out of it. She'd probably drank out of my first coffee. And I'm sure what I ordered...
I mean, it hit my legs, hit your legs.
Oh, yeah. We were all coffeeed up. Stunk. You could smell coffee for the beginning of the trip. It sucked.
Because we never stopped again. Except for gas.
Then we got into Arkansas, which really the next step... That's where all the moon-eyed people live.
Dude, that is a weird state. I'm not.
When you get kicked out of Alabama, they move you to Mississippi. When you get kicked out of Mississippi, they kick you out into Arkansas.
Yeah, that is just...
Arkansas is like the septic tank of the South.
Like, we stop out of Love's, and I'm like, all right.
It was the nastiest Love's I've ever been.
Yeah, the nastiest Love's, but I'm like, I'm going to get me sugar, coffee, and Coke, and a bag of chips.
They didn't even have Little Debbie donuts there.
And everything was sharing size.
Oh, yeah, Jamie got like a 2 liter. The 2 liter.
It was just short of 2 liters.
It was like a 1.5 liter. And then
the candy bar was sharing size.
Yeah, it looked like a Pringles can.
The chips were the only thing in regular size bags.
It was insane.
But I'm looking for like the regular size candy bar.
I don't think I even got anything there. Oh, I got a sweet tea. That was another thing.
Did they actually put sugar in their sweet tea?
What are those things called? Those loose leaf sweet teas? Or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Well, not loose leaf.
Leafly?
4-leaf?
Oh.
4-leaf tea? Whatever it is. It comes in a squared shape.
Maybe it'll come to us in a month or two.
Yeah, it'll be on another. Tune in next week for
what we remember.
So, yeah, that's about all we got there. Other than that.
Well, there was a tumbleweed bigger in the car that bounced over us.
That was in Oklahoma, though.
Yeah. Well, or no, that was Texas.
Yeah, it could have been Texas or Oklahoma. They look the same. At that point in time of the night.
They had those little, like...
Was I driving? Who drove into Kingman?
I was driving.
No.
You drove in the Kingman. I couldn't handle it.
I drove into Oklahoma, into Yukon, too. Right?
That was going this way. We didn't stop at Yukon going back. Oh, yeah, you drove.
Coming home.
But we were just doing our average switch that night.
Yeah, it was every 4 hours.
Every tank of gas we switched.
Which was the only way. We had no issues with the police.
Well, I did.
Well,
in New York, I thought we were going to get pulled over.
Oh, yeah. The guy pulled up. Was that the nighttime or that was at morning?
That was when we were going to the hotel at night.
Yeah. That was when we first got into the city. Dude pulls right up on us, flips his blues on. Jamie's like, oh, man, here we go.
So I live 30-some miles south of Brad, but there's a bazillion stoplights. So it takes an hour. So I'm in the town just before my house in the middle of nowhere. And a car pulling out of Zaxby's is a foot in my lane. They just do it right in front of me. So I slowly go into the passing lane and then go around them. And then I see blue lights. I'm like, so I turn the overhead cabin lights on because I ain't going to get shot. I'm like the only people that won't make the news if they kill me. I turn the overhead lights on, put my hands on the steering wheel so he can see where they're at. And he walks up to me and goes, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I have absolutely no idea. And he said, well, you changed lanes without signaling twice. And I said, did you not see the car that ran the stop sign and got in my lane? He said, no. Well, actually, he didn't even address the issue. He didn't say a word. He said, well, you went to the passing lane without signaling, and then you returned to the slow lane without signaling. So I sat there and just didn't say a word. Nothing. Because this guy's a moron. He's a kid. He's like 21 years old, 22.
You probably called him a moron.
I didn't call him a moron. I'm like, finally he comes back, and another police officer, I think it was his training officer, pulled behind him. And he came back and he said, he didn't even ask for my license. He forgot that part.
He's learning.
He said, can I see your license? I'm like, dude, I just drove back home from California. Can you write me a ticket so I can go home?
He said you're going to take him to court.
And he's like, what do you mean? I said, you claim you didn't see that car pulling out. Do you have a dash cam? He said, yes. I said, I'll use it in court. I'm not going to argue with you on the side of the road at 9:45 p.m. Just give me a ticket. So he walked back, missed his car, went to the patrol car behind him. Then he came back and just gave me my license, said, drive carefully, Mr. Farrow.
Yeah, he didn't want to go to court.
And he knew that dash cam showed that stinking car popping out.
He missed the guy who broke the law and pulled you over. It's like,
oh, I did say to him, what'd you want me to do? T-bone the car?
Well, that's probably what he wanted you to do.
He didn't respond to that either.
He could have probably filled out an accident report. He probably knew how to fill those out.
Well, Lamar County deputy guy or Barnesville police officer,
whichever one you are,
I'm watching you. You're on my list.
Hey, we had no issues the whole trip. It was Georgia drivers, Georgia police.
8 miles from home, I get pulled over for nonsense.
2 days after the trip, Jamie gets to check engine light.
Oh, yeah.
On Deborah. Old Deborah the Snail.
The outbound catalytic sensor.
Did you order a new one?
I already installed it.
You did?
Yeah.
Fixed it?
Yeah. The O2 sensor.
You'll get another 6. Did you change the oil yet?
Yeah.
He changed the oil Wednesday before we left, and we didn't even make it back before the change oil light came back.
That came on in Missouri, didn't it?
No, it came on in Arizona on the way home.
Oh, yeah.
Right after we got in Arizona. We still had a day and a half of driving to go before we got home.
I haven't reset the light yet.
You changed the oil, though?
Yeah.
Well,
oil filter.
We might get another Cannonball Run out of that car.
No, you might. I'll let you use it.
Somebody else does.
I know how to get to Atlanta, whatever international airport, and fly.
Like I said, the drive home was a lot less sketchier. Sleeping those 4 hours at night really cut that out. But
weren't you bagged? I mean, I worked on Wednesday, but I was bagged out. I was hungover.
Yeah, I felt that way. I felt that way Wednesday and Thursday. Like, I'm still congested from it. I don't know, lack of sleep. I just started getting congested, and it's yet to go away.
Well, I had a guy, he called me and asked for something, and he said, are you okay? And I didn't want to go into the long explanation. I just said, I got COVID.
I'm drunk.
And that was okay for him. He goes, oh, okay, you're still answering the phone? I'm like, it's not bad.
It's mild.
It's just, he's like, well, I can hear it in your voice.
Like, yep, that's it.
Yeah,
that's how you diagnose COVID now.
I said, yeah, that's COVID.
So let's thank everybody. So I want to thank everybody who followed us along. Everybody followed on YouTube.
We had financial support too.
Yeah, and thank Danny Carden Plumbing. Danny Carden Plumbing is the official plumber of Race Car Spelled Backwards.
Jody the bookseller.
Jody the bookseller. Thanks, Brandon. My cousin.
Janet.
Thank you so much.
Got us 2 tanks of gas.
Everybody. Doug, thanks for helping.
Greg, who I can't, he said don't. Greg gave us a tank.
Yeah, thank Greg. On Little Debbie, Red Bull, loves truck stop bathrooms. And like I said, everybody who followed us on Twitter.
Crunchy Cheetos.
Yeah, Doritos.
Loves.
Snaps.
Loves extra caffeinated coffee.
The 20% extra caffeine when you need it.
La Quinta, Red Roof.
Yeah,
Not Motel 6.
No. We'll get to that here in a second, too, because that was
Red Roof
interesting.
Wasn't that bad.
No, but Motel 6 was sketch, dude. At best.
Yeah.
Everybody followed along on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. I've got tons of video I took that I'll be uploading over the next couple weeks. So.
I guess we need every time we pass a semi when we're cruising in the Prius, we
take
need
a video.
Take a video because they love that. Thank you.
It's crazy. So, all right, we do have some NASCAR news to speak of.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we actually do have NASCAR news. Austin Dillon needs to shave that mustache. Let's talk about that.
Well, he looked like a porn star, child molester.
I think like a pedophile.
That was
creepy, man. Like, where did he come up with this thing? Who thought it was a good idea for Austin Dillon to have this mustache? Does he not have a PR guy he's married, right? You think his wife? My wife would tell me if I look like an idiot.
I would hope so, because he doesn't look old enough to have that stash.
No.
It almost looks like he penciled it in like the old Hollywood stars in the 1920s.
It looks like he drives an ice cream truck and kidnaps children.
Yeah. Or
works for the Epstein department.
Or goes to the city park and asks, have you seen my puppy?
Yeah. Have you seen my you want a piece of candy?
You want some candy and some ice cream? And have you seen my puppy?
So NASCAR said the Ty Gibbs car, everybody saw it catch on fire. When I saw it catch on fire, we were driving, but I was like, man, this is going to... Here we go. They didn't fix the rocker box issue. Come to find out...
Rocker box?
No. The Gibbs installed the muffler improperly.
Oh, did they get fined for it?
No, but they had a burned up car for it. I guess that was the fine.
Yeah.
That'll teach them. Because they will be using this muffler at the Chicago Street Course.
Did they show Gibbs how to attach it properly so it doesn't happen again?
Send him a PDF.
Okay.
Made a YouTube video.
That's good.
Kyle Busch has announced he will be driving in some Xfinity races in the number 10 car for Colleague Racing, which this season is great because I'm going to be pulling for Kyle Busch this season. He is officially my favorite driver now, for this season at least. And I'm hoping it stays that way. But Kyle's back, man.
I'm sticking with Noah.
He's back in a Chevy. He's got great sponsors. He's got 3 Cheddars. I mean, it goes perfect together.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Do your week. Get the munchies.
So Kyle's going to be my driver this year. Like I say, he's back with Chevy. He's with RCR. I really think Kyle could put RCR back on the map. He's let his grandkids run his company into the business, into the ground.
Into the business. Yeah.
Into the business, into that business. Red tube.
My dog's Deuce business.
He ran that thing into the red tube, that's for sure. So Kyle, I think, is going to bring it back around. Kevin Harvick also announced that he will be joining the Fox booth next year. I can't find it for sure. Is he joining Mike and Clint?
I think so.
So they're going to keep Mike. Mike Joy struggled at the Clash. Like, he didn't know who was who.
I'm not sure he knew where he was at. I think he thought he was at Charlotte.
He's reminding me a lot of a guy named Joe that we like to make fun of on this show. He's kind of starting to remind me of that. And I love Mike Joy. Mike Joy has been a voice that I've heard my whole entire life. He's been
calling races my entire life.
I can't think of a period.
He's even a racer. He drives with his son in the classic or vintage Trans Am too.
And
he did Lemons.
And he did modified.
Yeah.
He was a modified racer back in the day, upstate. So I love Mike Joy, but I think Mike Joy's he's DWing it. His time's coming to an end.
Yes.
I think next year, I hope and pray next year is Fox's final season with NASCAR. Please, dear Lord, let that be Fox's last season in 2024.
Yes.
So I'm thinking after that,
amen.
Mike Joy moves on. So as I talk bad about Fox, let me tell you why. Fox likes to double down and now triple down on stupid. They've got these stupid cartoon characters.
Don't even look like the drivers.
Denny Hamlin complained. Kyle Larson complained. They're complaining about their own driver coloring pictures. Like, take the dang picture with a phone, man. You don't have to have high quality pictures, but this comic book sucks. They did it in the NFL does it too. It's not
well, they got their stupid robot NFL player. I hate that.
Oh yeah. Like you have
where do they come up with this crap?
Look, I think using these cartoon characters are offensive. I'm just going to say it.
To cartoons.
It offends me every time I have to look at it.
It offends my comic books.
It looks nothing like the driver.
No.
When that driver gets out, I can't say, oh, that was the guy they showed earlier. You can't say that because they don't even look alike.
They almost need to put a split screen with a real photo and their cartoon photo, so now we know this is the right person.
Yeah, maybe they just do both pictures.
Yeah.
Since they're obviously they paid too much for these cartoon coloring pictures.
I'm tired of Fox.
I hate Fox.
What did someone say? They've been doing it for 23 years now?
Well, they've been doing it too long.
They've gotten cheap.
Didn't Fox take over at the Daytona 500 Dale Earnhardt Sr. died at? Wasn't that their first race? That was DW's first race.
DW was calling it, yeah.
So I'm thinking that was probably around the same time. Yeah. So Fox needs to go. Fox hasn't improved at all. But now, rumor is that NBC's leaving. So I've heard that Amazon Prime is looking to do some streaming.
That would be awesome.
I've heard CBS and ESPN are in talks. But
maybe YouTube TV will grab it because, they're taking over the NFL ticket now.
Yeah, I saw that. But I think NASCAR's viewership has went down about 40% since the last TV package deal, so I don't think this one's going to be bigger. It'll be either less or the same. I don't see
That's
more
what
money.
I think.
I don't see them dumping.
I don't think Fox has helped grow the sport.
I think they've hurt the sport, if anything. So Jimmy Johnson announced that he will not only be racing in the Daytona 500, but a shocker here, he's going to run the Chicago Street Course. And personally, I think he could legitimately win that race. He will be in decent equipment, and he will be the only driver that I know of, at least, in decent equipment that has experience on a street course.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Johnson could legit win that one. I'm not a fan of the street course races.
Well, I think he's going to win one this year.
Well, NASCAR's even said they're looking to go to New York City and run a race.
How are they going to stop all those electric bikes delivering DoorDash?
They won't. That's what's going to make it so interesting. It's going to be funny. I think it's a money grab, man. NASCAR, Brett Griffith said it best. NASCAR fans don't live in the city. They live in the rural areas. That's why all these tracks that sold out at one point in time are located in rural areas.
Yeah, with their fans.
So putting a street course in New York City, nobody in New York City watches NASCAR.
Well, I think they're jealous of F1.
But we're not F1.
I can't afford F1.
And if NASCAR
I'm not going to go to NASCAR.
I'm not paying it's $363 to go to the Chicago Street Course general admission section and have a bathroom. It's $270 without a bathroom.
That's nuts.
I'm not going to watch a 4-hour race without a bathroom though. Because they're probably going to have like 3 porta johns for 300,000 people.
Probably.
And you figure it out.
I drove with you across country.
Yeah.
You won't see the race.
No, I'll be in the porta john the whole time.
Unless your wife doesn't allow you to have a drink for 2 days in advance.
Don't let me drink my Pepsi before bed. Well, I'm not drinking Pepsi anyway. All right. Let's do it, man. Let's do these hotels.
All right, hotels. Our first hotel that we stayed at was the Hilton Garden Inn in New York Midtown. Bobby Taylor gave it a review. He said, this hotel's noisy, even in the middle of the night. Street noises are common. I agree. Kind of kept us up.
It was loud.
If we had driven all night, though, we probably would have slept.
Yeah, we slept through the Motel 6.
The walls are thin, allowing sound transmission from other rooms. Actually, it was a hallway I think I heard all the noise at.
Yeah, there's people walking.
He did give it a 1 out of 5. the air conditioner clunks, pops, clicks, and it cycles on and off. Well, that's every air conditioner.
Ours turned on and off too.
So Bob Taylor is a little nuts.
OCD.
The rooms are small but clean and well maintained. I would agree. There is an off-site restaurant with food, drinks that can be delivered to your room. We didn't use that, so I don't know. Surprisingly, a vegetarian burger is available.
At the hotel?
Well,
from the offsite.
I guess there's a restaurant attached, because the side we walked in was the garage we parked in.
That was sketch.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, that's something we completely forgot.
Yeah.
So, being from Georgia, we pull into the garage. First, we go to the Red Ball,
which is not.
And I thought it was
all.
3. Well, it's a garage, but
Yeah,
I thought it was like
cars.
5 or 6 floors.
No,
it's one. It's like the first floor of your house.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can get like 10 cars in there. So we U-turned.
We pulled in there and did a U-turn, and still nobody talked to us.
Well, we left, but we go into the hotel's parking. Well, it wasn't even the hotels. The hotel was next to the parking garage. We pull into it, and this dude, he's from a different country. We pull in. I thought he was going to give us a ticket, or I had to hand him a credit card.
He just stared at us.
He said nothing for like 3 minutes. It was so awkward.
Yeah.
Until finally I go, so we're from Georgia. What do we do?
He said, I know.
No, then he says, I parked car.
Then you go, what do we do? He goes, I park car. You go, sorry, we're from Georgia. He goes, I know. And he didn't move. He just stared at us like what do you want us to do,
Then he stared for another 3 minutes and said, you get out and give me key. So that's what we did. And then he gave a ticket. He said,
God the car was there.
Present this ticket in morning. And we did.
And we got the car back, surprisingly. I did not think the car was going to be there.
But Bob says they even had vegetarian burgers. It was perhaps the worst such burger I've ever eaten. The textile was crumbly, the taste was odd, and it was overcooked. In comparison, the pepper jack chicken sandwich was very good. Okay.
It's a hotel review, not a restaurant
I've never had
review.
great food delivered to my room.
I don't know.
I had a good...
In Texas one time.
I had a good Belgian waffle, I think, once.
You get that free 72-ounce steak in Texas, boy.
So he gave it a 1 out of 5. To be honest, you're not going to stop the traffic in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
You're not going to block it out. I'd give it about a 3.
Let's say 3.5.
The room was clean.
Can we do halves on this?
Sure, why not? People want to do zeros all the time. I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't
low 4, 3.9.
It wasn't a 4 exactly, but it wasn't far off. It was clean.
Had a nice view out the window.
Tiny. The bathroom was. It wasn't. The bathroom
wasn't big either.
Yeah, it wasn't. The TV.
TV was insanely small.
2004 flat screen,
20-inch
at best. It was a computer screen actually.
We turned on the Weather Channel before we left, and then that's how we ended up deciding.
We watched King of the Hill that night.
Oh, did we? I don't remember. It all goes together. But for breakfast, we walked 2 blocks to a place called the Murray Hill Diner.
It was great.
I loved it.
If you're ever in town, go. The pancakes were phenomenal. And I'm a pancake guy.
Look, I had a waffle that was good. Anna Gret Hunterfirst. I bet you she's German.
Oh, she could be.
Hunterfirst?
She could be from Arkansas.
This is just
Hunterfirst.
4 months ago. She said, a nice and not overrun diner, very friendly staff, a huge menu, quick service, reasonable prices, nice place if you need to get out of the crowd.
I agree 100%.
The Murray Hill Diner.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
All day.
Great food.
Food was great. Service was even
Waitress was amazing. That was Jenny on the block from the Bronx.
She was awesome.
She kept refilling our coffee when we emptied it. Little did we know we needed every cup of coffee before we left.
Yeah, she was
phenomenal.
Murray Hill Diner. If you're ever in New York City, go to the Murray Hill Diner.
Yeah.
You will not regret it.
Nope.
I had the pancakes. Jamie had I had pancakes and I had eggs.
And she made them how you wanted.
Yeah, she didn't. Waffle House cannot get my eggs right.
It was cheaper than Waffle House.
I know.
In New York City.
Yeah, I'm like, just fry my eggs. That's all.
It was the cheapest thing. It would cost more to ride the Garden State Parkway to the tunnel.
It costs more to go up the Empire State Building
Yeah, $80, forget it.
Yeah, no, we didn't go to the top of the Empire either.
Watch it on YouTube.
All
So we drove 44 hours and 3 minutes after we got in our car, drove to the Red Ball Garage to start our timer at the Red Ball Garage.
Like you're
Pictures to prove it.
And video.
And GPS tracker.
And then we went all the way to Motel 6 and
at LAX.
Inglewood. Denise, my wife, said she looked at our tracker to see where we were at. She goes, man, I saw y'all were in Inglewood at like 4 in the morning. I got a little worried.
Well, you know, the hotels next to us look fine. So we get there, we're bagged, man. It's like 4.
They had barbed wire around the hotel.
Yeah. So we
didn't notice that at 4 a.m.
So when I reserved it, the website for Motel 6 say if you prepay for the room, you will not be checked out till 11 a.m. the next morning, regardless of the time that you arrive. We go to the front desk. Wrong. I didn't know these were the rules.
They make up their rules.
And this Bertha chick,
Big Bertha,
says, I canceled your reservation.
You're a no-show after 3 a.m.
I said, well, hold it. And I pulled it up. I said, no, you took my money out of my account.
She said, yep.
You're giving me a room. And she's like, well, you're a no-show.
You're a no-show. Go away.
I have to run the audit before I can even tell you if you get a room.
The nighttime audit.
So she says, I'm going to run it now. So we just sat in the lobby with all our stuff.
Laid.
And we slept for 45 minutes. I slept too. But she would wake us up when she would argue with everyone else that came into the lobby. Everyone. Oh. No exception.
The Armenian mafia dude come downstairs. His dad had brought him dinner. She charged him $80. His dad brought dinner and then left. Didn't even stay. I mean, maybe he stayed to eat.
She charged him for the man.
An hour at most.
Coming to the room.
Charged him $80 for the man coming to the room. It was horrible. Horrible. Then another couple came in and they're like...
Well, she canceled their reservation.
Well, she's like, you're a no-show if you don't show up by 3. And they said, we didn't book it till 3:30. She goes, oh, well, I have to run the night audit to tell you if you even have a room available now. You're going to have to wait. And I don't really know what happened because I fell asleep.
Well, then I woke up and I walked over and said, you're going to give me a room. Plus, I had looked up their policy.
Oh, we both had I was talking to them on Twitter direct message.
Yeah. So she gave us a room. We went up, and first I thought, wow, the interstates, we're above the interstate because it was loud. And then in the bathroom, there's 2 wet footprints.
Right in front of the toilet like you were peeing.
And
I just went to bed.
The tub was wet.
We had sleeping bags. Let's just verify this.
We didn't want to catch anything. I reached into the tub. The water in the tub was warm. But the beds were made. Very strange.
There was Fruit Loops on the floor.
Yeah, and the next morning, like all our reviews, I showered and walked to my bed and my feet were black.
Yes.
There was a peanut on the floor, too. Fruit Loops and a peanut.
I'm thinking she wouldn't let us go to our room because there was a homeless man showering.
Oh, I think she sublet it to a prostitute.
Yeah.
And they just she did her job on top of the bed.
Why does she have Fruit Loops, though?
Oh, I think that might have been from months ago.
Oh, you didn't try them. I mean, they're probably pretty stale.
I didn't try them. But here's what Tabasan Alasani says. He gave just a month ago, he gave it a 1 out of 5. The rooms are dirty and stinky. Well, ours smelled like exhaust because the windows were open.
Yeah.
It's beyond just dirty. I agree.
Yep.
I'd rather live on the street than stay in this place.
It's about the same.
Of doo-doo of a hotel. Place of doo-doo of a hotel. No matter how desperate you are, do not come to this hotel. We were pretty desperate.
We were extremely desperate. Obviously.
The Motel 6 hotel chain isn't exactly 5 stars, but guests still expect a certain level of hospitality and cleanliness. Unfortunately, staff and manager are far from understanding the hospitality. This was absolutely disgusting. The air was dense. I'm not sure what that means, but I did smell marijuana smoke the entire time in California. Maybe that's what they mean. Oh, and smelled of stale cigarettes. No, it wasn't cigarettes.
I didn't smell cigarettes at all.
It took numerous calls for the front desk. Answered us for the kept toilet. Don't know what that means. Did he kidnap the toilet?
Probably.
When he came up, he handed me a plunger and asked me to give it back when I was done using it. Well, that's kind of weird.
Well, they probably only have one. I mean, that's understandable.
To make matters worse, there was a cockroach in the fridge under the sink. Did we have a fridge? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice a fridge or a cockroach, but I was absolutely beat.
Bed sheet was old and full of stain, which we slept in our
sleeping
We
bags.
knew it would be sketch.
We brought pillows and sleeping bags, so we didn't have to.
We were good there.
We didn't have to use any of their.
The most careless manager as well as staff. Yeah, I agree.
Well, that one dude was asking for the manager's name, and she would not say it out loud. She only would write it down.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I didn't understand her. I mean, Bertha was probably the rudest person I've met on the whole trip.
She should not be in the hospitality business.
No, but she
makes her own rules.
I have video of her fighting with the Armenian dude. Like, they're just going at it, and she's legit screaming at him and telling him he's wrong. And he's like, I stay here all the time.
Well, I'm sorry for you, dude.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be there. So we left there and then we went to the Clash. We left the Clash and we went to In-N-Out in Barstow after the Clash. So Mike gives it a 1 out of 5.
In-N-Out?
Yeah, In-N-Out. He said, cook the French fries golden brown. Do not white cook fries. Also serve my food when it's my time. They took my golden fries and completed an animal fry. I don't know what that means. However, my ticket was first. Serve my food cooked and serve in order. Fry cook, have me uncooked fries. Have me uncooked fries.
Yeah,
then I asked him to
uncocked fries.
Then I asked him to replace them, and he did. They were also uncooked. Thanks for the fresh, hot, uncooked fries. A burger that was cooked but cold. I should have taken the pictures. Have you seen this place? All the tables are dirty. I've seen it. He's right. They were all dirty.
It was completely nasty.
I'll add some pictures to show the dirty tables. Maybe someone should clean the dining room. Exactly.
It was horrible.
So I go up and order. I said, can I have your cheeseburger? No mayonnaise, please. And this little smart aleck teenager says, we don't use mayonnaise. I said, okay, I just don't want any condiments on it. Pickle, onion, and lettuce, because I'm going to put my own ketchup on. So I get the burger, and it has their secret sauce. I dip my finger in it and put it in my mouth, and it's probably 80% mayonnaise.
It's just mayonnaise and ketchup.
But you know what? I was like, screw it. I just
tossed it.
I Michael Jordan it into the trash can.
He made sure he said all this loud enough, though, for everybody in the restaurant to hear.
Well, I wasn't doing it on purpose. I just heard it race. They had mufflers, but still kind of loud. And then
they were all looking, and Jamie just like, swish, nothing but net.
Yeah, and I threw some surly words in there that I'm not going to say on this show. But I was cussing completely the whole. You would have thought New York farted and I fell out. And then I go to the fries, and sure enough, just like this guy, they're not cooked all the way through. They're white and limp.
Yeah, I like soft fries. I don't like my fry burnt. But these were cold. They weren't done. They would have been good with another minute. For me, you needed another 3, but I would have been good with another minute. The burger, they had 32 pounds of lettuce, half a gallon of mayonnaise sauce, and the Krabby Patty on there was about as big around as $50. I had to dig the patty out.
I thought it looked like the thickness of a quarter-pound of cheese at McDonald's.
No, that's better.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know McDonald's.
This would have been like taking just a plain cheeseburger patty at McDonald's and putting it on a Big Mac burger.
Even McDonald's cannot give me the special. They won't give me the special sauce.
Yeah, I mean, I dug through the lettuce and sauce to get out this little bitty dried. I had a cheeseburger at Daytona that was probably the worst cheeseburger I've ever had in my life. This one equaled it. The bun, they toast their buns, which means they burn the crap out of them, and then they shove some sauce on it to lube them up so you can swallow it down.
You ever wonder why Californians brag about it?
Everybody that knows, like, you need to go check out the In-N-Out. You got to go to the In-N-Out. In-N-Out's great. In-N-Out sucked.
But it sucked butt. Like a red tube coming out of a homeless man's bung.
If your friends are telling you to go to In-N-Out, you need new friends.
Yes.
They're not good
Train
friends.
them in.
They're horrible friends because that was horrible. Service sucked. Place sucked. Even a Lowe's truck stop bathroom was cleaner than their bathroom because I have a small bladder, so I did pee at the In-N-Out
quite often.
They had a good Dr. Pepper though. I will give them that.
The other thing, that Maverick truck stop, the bathroom was clean, but it had all-in-one soap, sink, and hand dryer.
Oh yeah,
that was nice.
I've never seen a hand dryer built into a sink. But that was
a nice.
We legit. I mean, you wash your hands anyway, but you wash your hands where the water comes out, the soap comes out too. So you're guaranteed to get soap and water when you put your hands under there. And then to dry them, you don't have to drip all over the floor. You just shuffle over about 1.5 feet to the right. And it starts drying your hands. I mean, it's like something off the Jetsons, okay?
Yeah, it's cool. It's just cool.
I want one at my house. That's how cool it was.
So then we drive to the Red Roof Inn in Kingman. I thought it was Flagstaff, but luckily,
thank God
if it was Flagstaff, we would have checked in and checked out immediately. Actually, just
sleep in the car.
Sleep at Love's. Well, Nicole Carvarubio gave it a 1 out of 5 just 10 months ago.
Must be a local.
Horrible customer service. My husband's jewelry was stolen out of our room March 14th, 2022. We stayed in rooms 210 and 212. It's funny. We stayed in 212.
Did we? That's right, we did.
When we told the woman in the office about it, only one woman was willing to help. She had black pigtails and glasses. She was there when we were there. She was there when we checked out, not checked in. She was very helpful, and the maintenance guy was very helpful. The other staff literally turned their backs on us while we were talking to them. We had that happen, but that's later.
That was at Oklahoma.
Then an older lady said, "Don't talk to my daughter that way. She's sick and doesn't need to deal with this shit." Wow.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. The older lady was there when we checked in.
I thought the lady when we checked in was tattooed and pierced.
She was, but she was
older,
black and half blonde hair, and that's this lady.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Older lady. And then Nicole says, "Well, you work here and you get paid to help customers.
Do your job. That's all we ask."
All right. Well, they had 2 rooms. They asked for towels for both rooms. They said they didn't have any more towels. Then we reminded her for the 3rd time. She finally gave us more. But what was the purpose of lying? And we didn't get the same welcoming spirit other customers received.
Oh, she did it.
Overall, a 0-star experience.
I've never seen them stick a 0-star trap in the middle.
Oh, my goodness.
How you going to throw it? I mean, it's not even the middle. This is toward the end. How you going to do it here, Nicole? Man,
why?
Nicole, you deserved everything you got. I hope you had bed bugs.
You're a dimwad. You're a red tube.
I would I give the Red Roof 2.5. It was clean enough my feet didn't turn
That
black.
was the longest we slept.
Yeah, we had 7 hours of sleep that night.
Yeah.
And actually, I think we probably had 3 hours of sleep. The rest was just straight up passed out, comatose, not knowing what was going on.
Yeah, because I didn't hear anything.
We just died from exhaustion. I think we might have died a little bit that night.
We were so late. There was one review that said there were strange people on the 2nd floor watching us as we went to our room.
Didn't care.
We were so late, I don't think anybody was watching us.
No. When we left, there was nobody there.
But we had a good McDonald's experience across the street. There in Kingman.
Yeah, that was where those sketchy people in the RV were, though.
Yeah.
Like, they were going to kill each other.
So we drove for what seemed like days, and we stopped at the La Quinta Inn, Yukon, Oklahoma. Well, this guy's called Texas Card Shark.
All right.
Wow. He's probably driving an F-350 with a lift kit and special tires.
I think he lives in Texas Panhandle, and he drives over to the Yukon to go to the casino.
Amarillo.
He lives over in Amarillo.
And drives over to
in Armadillo.
The travel casino. But he said checked in the room here at the La Quinta, called for desk because no towels, tried to turn on TV, did not work. I had that problem too.
None of our TVs worked.
New York did.
Motel 6
that was tiny.
Didn't it?
I don't remember turning on a motel.
Yeah, you turned it on because we watched the...
Oh, yeah, they had the weird cabinet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. So, 10 minutes... The TV didn't work. Called the front desk. Tried to use the microwave. It didn't work. Called the desk again. 10 minutes later, police officer knocking on door, escorting me out. Standing in my room while I packed. Booked a 3-night stay, and they kicked me out for not having what I paid for in my room. What kind of hotel could treat a paying customer like this? Shameful. Had to book a room next door at the Hilton. Very nice. Acceptance after telling the clerk. I just got kicked out of La Quinta Hotel for just complaining about it. They're probably owned by the same people.
Well, no, Hilton and Wyndham are different.
No, the owners, though. They're just franchises.
No, definitely.
The Hilton does not tuck the sheets in because they have no bed bugs. I don't know that they're trying to kill. That's just weird.
Is that why you tuck the bed sheets in to kill the bed bugs? Because, I mean, every Hilton I've stayed in, they make the bed.
I don't know.
I
had the opposite experience.
So I was always told you take the top cover. If the comforter is not white, you take it off, throw it on the floor. They bleach. The reason hotels use white sheets and white covers is because they can bleach them. But if the comforter on top is not white, they're not washing it ever.
Well, the Motel 6's laundry was yellow. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't care. I really didn't. At that 44 hours straight, I'd been asleep for an hour in the lobby. I did not care. But at La Quinta Inn, I give it a hard 3.
Well, then we decided to mix it up because we had McDonald's twice, 3 times. I don't remember. Didn't have a bad experience at McDonald's. What are you giving the La Quinta? I would give the La Quinta, I don't know, the room wasn't bad. The needed batteries in the remote. That drops into a 4.
4?
Yeah, you give them.
I give them a 3.
Okay. We had a different experience, though. I mean, the front desk lady was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, even when I turned the key in, she said, "Are you sure y'all don't want to grab some breakfast before you leave? We have hot pancakes. We should have."
Did you say, "No, I want to get home tonight"?
I said, "No, I want to go across the street to Braun's ice cream parlor and have Pete Buttigieg ignore me."
Pete was kind of a butthole.
Pete was a complete butthole.
But Andrew Quinlan.
He met Pete, too.
Yeah, he did. Just 7 months ago. He gave it a 1 out of 5. And I guess the guy's name's Montana. He never turned around to acknowledge us, so we didn't see his name tag.
No idea.
We don't know his name.
We're going with Pete, though.
Yeah.
But he wants to call him if Andrew wants to call him Montana, that's fine.
But he says Montana the gentleman. Working window. 1 tonight. Cussed and me. And threatened me because stating I was lucky he needed his job or he'd come out and fight me after he had a terrible attitude while I was ordering my food. Management did nothing about this and continued to let him work after he had cursed at me and threatened me in front of my son and his friend.
Why didn't he whoop his butt then? Why didn't Andrew jump through the window and take on Pete? I think Andrew could. I saw Pete. I could have taken Pete. You could have taken, as tired as we were, we could have both taken Pete blindfolded.
I think so.
One hand tied behind
her back. I just sucker punched him from the back of the head since he never turned around and looked at us.
It wasn't intimidating. No.
So I give them a 1. I'm not going to fall in the 0 trap.
Yeah, I'll give them a 1.
Across the street, McDonald's.
10.
Yeah, they threw our food at us.
It's still good. The food was good, though.
No, that McDonald's.
We're talking about this is the McDonald's where they bit into my hash browns.
Your hash brown and then threw the coffee at both of us.
Yeah, that's a 1. Yeah, the food wasn't even up to. It was McDonald's. That was the problem. We were getting McDonald's service.
We got micked.
We expected Mac, and we got micked.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what we got. We didn't stay at any other hotels. You would think that we'd have stayed at 5, 6 hotels, but we just stayed at 3.
And really, can you even call it a stay? I mean, the Motel 6 was
the Red Roof 7 hours. That's a stay.
Yeah, and then Oklahoma was legit 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we knew it. It sucked so bad laying down, knowing I only had 4 hours.
But didn't you? I laid down and went to sleep immediately and woke up when the alarm went off.
I took a shower before I went to bed, and then I laid down and went to sleep immediately. That way I didn't have to get up as early as you. But it sucked. That was a long day driving home, too, because there's nothing flatter than Oklahoma. And then you dump out into the South septic tank of Arizona. I mean,
well,
Arkansas.
Arkansas is just horrible.
Arkansas is the septic tank of the Southeast. There's no doubt about it. So
no teeth at the gas station. Dirtiest Loves we had seen, and we stopped at Loves
across America.
As long as we saw Loves,
we stopped.
When we were out of gas, we stopped.
We went out of our way to stop at.
We went to a 66.
Stop at Loves.
Route 66 sucked too.
Yeah, I wouldn't stop it.
Mavericks was okay. Mavericks was good, but there weren't that many. What was the other one?
Pilot.
TNA and Pilot were nasty.
Flying J wasn't bad, but they just didn't have a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think Flying J and Pilot are the same company, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe Loves owns them too, but Loves was the most...
Loves was dependable.
Yeah.
Except in Arkansas.
But that might have been clean for Arkansas.
It probably was. Now, I will say this. If you've ever been...
It was tiny too. All the other Loves were gigantic.
Yeah, but... We did happen to wander over into the truckers' lounge at Love's, and that's nothing like the restroom at Love's.
No, don't go to that one.
There's things going on over there that are nastier than, well, it's a lot like L.A. bushes. Let's just say.
Well, there were no red tubes, but close.
Yeah, I only wandered there once, and I saw that dude in his house coat, and I think that's it, with his feet propped up on the table, barefoot, and I was like, yeah.
Aren't you glad we didn't shower there?
Thank God we didn't shower there. We didn't even shower for 2 days.
Can you imagine if you showered in the Loves in Arkansas? Ooh.
You'd probably catch something.
You got a pretty mouth.
you catch something penicillin, wasn't going to care.
Well, that's what we got. We got the big race coming up this weekend. I'm excited.
Yep, Daytona 500 is this Sunday, February 19th at 2:30 p.m. on Fox and MRN. Make sure you check it out. Man, I can't wait. So last week for the Clash, me and Jamie, we picked our drivers. Jamie had Kyle Larson, who finished the highest out of all our picks. Therefore, that sets Jamie up to pick first this week. Now, once we start after this week, the rules kind of kick into effect. But this being the Daytona 500, you can pick any 3 drivers you want. So, Jamie, who are your picks to win the Daytona 500? You go first.
I hope Jimmy qualifies, but he's not going to be my first pick. I am going to pick Harvick, number 1. Ford won last year, I think. I don't remember. Won it a Ford?
I thought Denny won.
Cindric won.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm going with Harvick. He's going to go out with a big shebang. Next, I'm going to go Noah Gragson.
All right.
And I can't pick him again, right? So
no, you can pick him again.
Corey LaJoie seems to do well at super speedways. He did really good, Corey LaJoie, at the Land Motor Speedway in the spring. I'm going with Corey LaJoie.
He couldn't get out of his own way at the Clash.
But we listened to it. He was giving all the famous people rides. I think maybe that was...
Wore his car out?
And
probably.
They were weird.
He was probably still driving the 2-seater, too.
Those famous people, they need to stay famous and stay in Hollywood. I don't need to know anything about them, so I'll go see their movies.
We were calling him Corey Ware. He was driving so bad at the Clash.
It was bad, but I like Corey, so I'm going LaJoie. Who are you going with?
All right, I'm going to go with Mr. Dennis Hamlin.
It's a good pick. I like that pick.
I'm going to go with probably the last time I'll pick him all season, young Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, he usually does good. You don't like him.
I know I don't.
He wrecked about 100 times.
He don't even know the rules. Like that, it just annoyed me, the fact that he didn't know the rules and jokingly admitted it.
I don't think he can read.
That's the problem for me. Like, if this is what you do for a living,
his
know
dad
the rules.
raised him to drive a car.
I don't care that he can't read. I'm dyslexic, so reading's not...
Well, I can read, but sometimes I get stuck on a word.
Well, I can read too, but sometimes I read something different than what was written there. But still, I'm not hating on him for not being able to read. I'm hating on him for not knowing the rules. But, Super Speedway, young Ryan Blaney. Third pick, I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
All right, that's a good pick, too. All right.
Denny, Blaney, and Reddick.
Got it.
You never know how it's going to go at Daytona, though. So, but other than that, that's really all I got this week, Jamie. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We waited a whole week to put it out, because if we would have recorded after the Clash, it would have been a shit show of an episode.
We wouldn't have remembered anything.
No.
It had been 2 seconds.
What happened, Jamie? Jamie, where's my pudding?
So for giggles, go to YouTube.
For skiggles?
And put Uranus Fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Watch their ads. Just look at the mayor of Uranus.
Follow Uranus.
Oh, yeah, on Twitter.
Like, they put out good content daily. Like, this is not we're not affiliated in any way with Uranus Fudge, but we like Uranus Fudge. Uranus Fudge is doing it right.
Genius.
Like, we discussed last night.
They need to sponsor, say, an Xfinity or a truck race.
Oh, yes. Uranus truck.
You think if we could interview... I would drive out there to interview him. Of course, it would only be about a 8-hour drive from here.
To Missouri?
Yeah, maybe longer.
We'll have to do a road trip.
To Uranus?
To Uranus.
Once the hot dog stands up.
Oh, yeah. Then we're going to get a wiener in Uranus.
Yeah. Not mine, yours. Uranus.
No, not mine. It's Uranus. Get a hot dog in Uranus. What if they got like them Dega dogs?
Foot long?
All right, so thanks to everyone who listens, who watches our show, who follows us on social media, sharing it with their friends, following us on YouTube. You know, make sure you go to Twitter, follow us there. We're at Car Backwards. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Check out our videos and our shorts. Check us out on Spotify and rate us. We're also on Apple Podcasts. Go on there, leave us a review. Send us a DM or you can email us at any time. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. If you got any questions, we'll be glad to answer them on the show. And make sure to check out our merch store. It's found at racecarbackwards.com or racecarbackwards.threadless.com. We have some new Cannonball Run gear that's going to be coming out the next few days, so make sure you check that out. Other than that, everybody, you'll have a great week, and we will talk to you after the Daytona 500. Thanks, everyone. Are you going to say goodbye, Jamie?
Bye, everybody. Work.
You just listened to Race Car spelled backwards. For that, we thank you.